Whoop. It's like it zooms in on you. Yeah, Kevin Kraft, that pen is freaking sweet, man. He sent me another picture too. I'll have to show it a little bit. Good evening, everybody. Typical Monday. Back to the grind at the regular job. Back to this grind tonight. Full press conference came out today. I want to say thank you to Cherry for finding that for me and sending it to me. I always appreciate it when you guys can send me the actual source or even local news, because it allows me to do so many more things. Good evening, Kib Kitty. I saw you around a lot today. Sorry I wasn't chatting much. That's one thing when I'm working. You got the viewer count. Sometimes I'm able to chat. Just depends on how busy the coworker is. If I can hurry up and... Was in J for Justice's podcast earlier today about Stephen Smith. She's got such a cool show, such a cool setup. I saw Ava in there. Thank you for the kind words, Ava. Yeah, it was a good show. She talked about a lot of different things. Enjoyed it. Thank you, Kib Kitty. What's up, Dre? Kevin Kraft. Good evening, SRB. Cassie. What's up? Was in JSD's show earlier. Unfortunately, I couldn't chat too much. I was in the middle of doing some stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Phew, I landed with both engines dead. I didn't crash. That sounds like a fun game. I have it on my Xbox. You get it for free. But shit, I ain't played a game on my Xbox in probably 3 weeks, maybe longer. I miss my video games. I tried to catch JSD, but everyone came. Yeah, it was about Keegan Kline requesting to change plea. We're going to have a Delphi show soon. I know I keep saying it. but we will. I just want to make sure I give this case 150% of what I got every time. Whether that's us just chilling back chatting or going into stuff. We got the full press conference. It's about 35 minutes. Thank you again, Cherry Cherry. Thank you, everybody, for all your links. One of the few things I actually relax with. Yeah, I used to be quite the gamer, and then it changed into the YouTube show host. But I'm loving it. I love doing this show. Like, the only thing that really seems like work to me is the shit I gotta do before and after. Other than that, I love it. I love thinking about it. I love, discussing stuff during the day with different people. I just love it. I love this show. And I appreciate all of you. Life is crazy. Life is crazy. To sit back and think, what if I didn't have a show? What if I would have never had a show? I wouldn't have met all you beautiful people. It's just crazy to think, right? What if maybe you wouldn't have hopped on that one night and saw Evil CJ and you were like, let me try this guy out. It's just crazy how life works. That's the beautiful thing of life. Yeah, I haven't gamed for a while either. Been obsessed with aviation your whole life, Kevin Kraft. Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's going to be some people I knew before because I had to reach out. At first I had to reach out and say, hey, follow me. I only have a couple subs. I remember like, it was so long ago. It kind of was. It was like, gosh, when is it 6 months now I've had this? Very slow in the beginning with all of it, though. I think that's what I love about this. Like, you could go back and watch the first episode, and you can actually watch me progress from somebody that had not a fucking clue about how to do any of this shit. Pretty much skinned up my own knees, and there's still more to learn. I mean, these thumbnails that people can do and all this other stuff, like, I'm sitting back like, damn, I try to do that on my computer. Maybe I just don't have the programs or something. I don't know. But I'm like, damn, these people got some cool letters on their fucking thumbnails. Like, how do you get that? I don't know. I'm just dumb when it comes to all this shit. The only thing I know what to do is to be a host of a show. That's the only thing I know how to do. Other than that, I know, me too, Cassie. Me too. And then to, like, Cassie, and then to, like, talk to you as your pregnancy's going on, and then we're all rooting for you. Then we're all worrying about SRB flying out there on her trip, and now look at how big Baby Liberty is. It's amazing. I appreciate you guys being alongside with me on the journey here that we take day by day, night by night. Yeah. You know what? There's one night maybe. I don't know. Maybe one of these nights we can just, like, chill back. We can watch my first show or something. I don't know. I should do that sometime, though. I should sit back and, like, start to watch some of my first shows and shit, and just watch how chaotic how How not a clue I had. All the cheesy backgrounds and all the cheesiness that I had going on. Aw, here we go. Here's a Baby Liberty update. Baby Liberty update. Hold on. We don't have no redheaded stepchild of the fam, Kevin. I don't know. I honestly, I probably haven't watched my first show since the night after my first show. That would be interesting. Well, I think we all do. There's good and bad. That's why there's an even flow, man. But the thing is everything that comes in your life. I learned this a long time ago. Any negative thing that comes in your life, you always try and find a positive out of it. You're rushing to work. You're speeding. You hit a pothole. You're running late. It's the last time you can run late. You get a flat tire. That could either A, ruin your day, ruin your week, ruin your month, or you could look at it and say, wow, you know what? Maybe if this flat tire wouldn't have happened, I might have been in an accident where the flat tire wouldn't have mattered. Always got to find the positives, no matter what. Otherwise, it'll eat you. I know, so cute. That blanket looks comfortable as shit, too. It's been 7 weeks already. Wow. Wow. Everybody. It doesn't matter. Race, sex, religion, yada, 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 yada. It don't matter. That's the beautiful part of this atmosphere. Thank you so much for that update. Appreciate it, Cassie. So cute. 7 weeks? Man, that's crazy. That is crazy. All right, so I got some clips, bunch of I was gonna go ahead and get into like some of the theories and stuff, and I'm like, man, there's a full press conference that came out today. There's a bunch of different videos. We'll just kind of check it out, see what the press conference is, chill back, watch it together, talk about it afterwards. Got some clips from earlier this morning that kind of discusses both the autopsy and such. Now, here's the thing that I heard today, and I wanted to let everybody know. Last night, when we found out last night that the autopsy is going to be done at the same medical facility that the first one was done at. And I'm sitting there asking, well, what does the mom feel about that? Because if it was me, I'd be like, hell to the fucking no. And you can't tell me that's the only medical facility that can do that in Charleston, South Carolina. You out of your mind. So in the press conference today, you'll hear the mom was nervous about it. And they're going to be discussing how they're going to be, even if it's somebody that's out of state, they're going to hire the best person that can do this. Now, the pathologist has to be experienced with exhumed bodies. So I don't think Susan Aaron Presnell, as far as I know, I mean, we tried looking, we couldn't find much. But as far as I know, Dr. Susan Aaron Presnell isn't experienced in exhumed bodies, so I think that crosses her off the list right off the bat. Now, at the same time, I think it's fucked up how she still has her job when she stated to other professionals that she was willing to change what the autopsy report said if the coroner wanted her to change it. So hopefully, one, she isn't nowhere close to this autopsy or anybody, because these webs go far. So just because Alex in prison, that don't mean shit. It don't mean that Murdaugh name can't be pulling puppet strings here and there still. So hopefully nobody is going to be involved that could affect this politically, pressure-wise, or anyway. And also, hopefully Dr. Susan Aaron Presnell's profession and how she performs these things is checked out a little more as well, because you can't be just changing shit to change shit. And it's kind of funny how she was the only one that has the final answer, but she was the only one that differed from everybody else's opinion on what actually took place or how it happened. Everything does happen for a reason. And the big yeah, very unprofessional. That's for damn straight. So hopefully they do a little more. Who knows though? It's all political over there, you know? It kind of don't matter. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into some of this folder here. Go ahead and cut off that scanner chat. And StreamYard came out with custom layouts now. Mine hasn't updated yet. I don't understand why. But I will be able to, here in the next few days, I'd imagine, I can actually customize this whole layout where my camera goes. If, like, the shape of my camera, the shape of everybody's camera, the shape and size of the screen share. I mean, there's going to be so many things. So that'll be coming out here soon. And it ain't going to take no thing for me to whip one of those babies together real quick, because I'm excited. I think it's going to be really neat. All right, so we will get into this folder. We will get into the press conference, probably about 20-25 minutes. And then that press conference is about 34-35 minutes. So we're just going to go from the oldest video to the newest. So all these are, here's an 8-hour one that's snuck in here. Let me do this. Kaboom, kaboom. Refresh. And if anybody would like to hop up, you're more than welcome. There's the link for that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Just a better way to customize the show. I think it'll be neat. Because I think it'd be neat to figure out a way to have us all chatting up on top. So all of our chat screens are on the top of the screen, and what we're watching is directly underneath that. That way, because it kind of bugs me when I have more than 2 people up on panel and I show a message, it like blocks everybody else on the bottom. So that kind of bugs me a little bit. So I'm thinking about having all of our chat squares go across the top. I think that'll be pretty cool. Me right under the evil CJ up there on top. I'll be right underneath that. And then people that join me will then go to the left or to the right of me. I think it'll be sweet. That's just my idea. Nothing I saw. What's up, Pugsy? We'll go ahead and throw that up there and get the banner going. Bum, 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 bum. What's up, man? Let's see, get that ticker going. If you'd like to hop up on open panel, you're more than welcome. Ooh, I like how that looks with my new background. The Twitch evil CJ. What's up, my friend?
Just chilling.
Just landing planes with blown engines.
I didn't blow the engines. I just turned them off because I was going too fast.
Ah, well, it sounded fun. It makes me think of GTA when I always tell people to do the job, a titan of a job. Look up that mission if you're on GTA 5. A titan of a job.
I'm not playing GTA though, man. I'm playing Microsoft Flight Sim.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm just talking about it. It reminded me of when I would be playing GTA. And people that normally don't fly planes, I'd be like, yep, it's your turn to fly it. Was always a blast watching people trying to land that freaking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, watching people spaz. So I'm sure I would have spazzed if I would have had to land a plane the same way that you did on your simulator there.
Except I went up and actually manually turned the mixture level down to cut both engines because I was going too fast and trying to land on a short lake.
Oh. Yeah, we've missed you, Punksy. Hopefully everything's going better that way. All right, let me see here. So these are some older videos. What's up?
Nothing. I'm just thinking out loud. It's awkward. My dog and cat are standing next to each other, just staring at me. I think she wants food, and I don't know what his deal is. I mean, I was only passed out for 18 hours straight.
I bet that was some good sleep.
Not really.
No?
I'm more tired now than I was yesterday.
Punksy's finally caught up on rest. I'm not. I'm definitely not. It was a crazy weekend full of work.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem. Every 2 to 3 days, I'm switching my sleep cycle around. So, because I don't like running the shop at 4 o'clock in the morning after being up all night, because I've never had a noise complaint yet, and I want to keep it that way. Although at least our local police department's cool, so if it ever happens.
That's always the bonus, man. Why does it make a lot of noise?
Not really, but sometimes it starts squealing to the point where I wish I had earplugs when I'm standing next to it.
I gotcha. Was that from the wood dust?
Actually, it's just when the wood gets really thin on the lathe, if I'm doing honey dippers, and it'll just start to vibrate against the metal tool, and it squeals like a banshee.
Like a banshee? Yeah, we got a couple machines at work, a couple welding machines. You turn them on, it's like, wee. It's like, gotta wait about 20 minutes.
That sounds like a bad bearing to me.
I don't know. I just walk away.
I'm assuming it's a robotic welder, not just a straight welder. Because if it's a straight welder, that's something totally different. I wouldn't even have an idea on that. Not that I worked in a weld shop for 2 years. Well, when I left where we worked together, that's actually what I got into for that next 2 years was a weld shop.
Well, how much do you remember of last night's show, man? You passed out.
Yeah. Not much.
Yeah.
I started fading, I think, after about an hour into it. After that,
Yeah.
I woke up talking. I was like, wait a
Oh,
second.
did you?
I'm not in
Yeah.
this. What the heck is going?
Yeah.
What? And then everybody's telling me, "Oh yeah, we heard snoring." It's like,
Yeah.
crap.
I haven't called your
hopefully I
name,
didn't say
man.
anything crazy.
No. You're just like, all of a sudden. I'm like, who is somebody snoring? Like, sorry, bro. I'm already ending the show. So I was like, I'm just going to kick you out. I'm already ending the show.
I feel the love, dude. I feel the love.
The
Just
first
kick me
person to
out.
fall asleep on my show.
It's not the first time I've done it though. I have fallen asleep.
Oh,
before
so I'm
when-
bored. Is that what you're saying? I'm bored. Fall asleep on my show.
If that's how you want to take it, sure.
Now, I've heard people tell me, oh, I fall asleep to your streams because your voice is so soothing. I was like, that's cool. Yeah, he was snoring. Go to the last night's show. Yeah, hey, just go to the last 10 minutes because there's a graphic warning area from the 230 something range to the 240 something range. Just look in the description. I put it in there. I wanted to make sure I let everybody
Make
know.
everybody laugh at me. I'm not getting into chat now.
Yeah, it was funny. Definitely funny. Yeah.
Well, maybe I should have sent you that picture I sent you here a little bit ago then.
Yeah, send me another one where it's like sideways. So if I have to like show a picture from then I have to like do a whole new screen share thing, and it's just a big pain in the ass. But if you can send it to me in one of the socials, then I can just click on it and boom, it pops right up. Kind of like Baby Liberty. Kind of like that. I can just click on it and it'll pop up. It's just a lot easier.
See, you mean hold the phone sideways?
Well, the logos were the left of the logo was up, so it was like a sideways picture. Here, I'll show it on the stream so I can show you what I'm saying.
I just gotta find my camera. I'm not used to these Android things.
Yeah, see how it shows on the. Oh,
I don't see nothing.
Right here. See how it shows sideways?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I was saying if you can turn that baby, then it'll actually show a little better on the stream. Because if I went to save it, then I'd have to do the whole new screen share, then go back to another screen shares. It was just a big pain in the butt.
Where the heck is my camera? This is the one thing that sucks about having an iPhone and an Android phone. It's too much to keep track of.
Oh, boo-hoo. You got two phones. Shit, I got one. I was thinking about, because I have to get a new phone here soon. I was thinking about using, when I get a new phone, because this one's got a big crack in it now. I don't know how, because I have a case for it. But anyway, I was thinking about using this phone as another fucking camera, so I'd have two cameras on the show. Would that like have one where you got my regular camera with the microphone, and then have another camera with like at a different angle, like maybe at the back in a, I don't know.
That should work. I mean, as
Like
long
in a
as
different
everything's
spot.
good other than the screen.
I think that'd look cool. Like if I did this or something, you'd have two different camera angles. Just, I don't know, just thinking about things to add to the show constantly on a daily.
Well,
Always trying to
I
think
only
of
have
something else to make better.
I only have the other phone for custom orders because that way I can give this number to people, and if I've got something going on with my family, I can leave it behind, and I've still got my personal phone that they all have the number for. So, because I've had people, actually customers that have, and other vendors, they hit me up at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning when I'm asleep, and this phone's just on do not disturb most of the time when I'm not awake and actually able to take calls. But I can't do that with my personal phone because, like, I've got family that's not doing well and stuff. So,
Man, having two phones is like having two women. It's just hard to manage, man.
you're not wrong.
Hard to manage. So have you heard anything new about, did you hear that Buster Murdaugh came out and said that he had no involvement? Did you hear he came out with a statement?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. This was shortly before, because we knew yesterday that the Smith family, the mother and her attorney were going to be having a press conference today. So I found it kind of interesting because there was probably a week or two ago, he had filed paperwork for a restraining order on a certain YouTuber for harassment. And then
It wasn't you, was it?
No, it was not me. No. I'm about peace and positivity, man.
Well, I know. But you're the only other YouTuber that I actually talk to on a regular basis. All my other friends are like, YouTube, why would I do anything on there? It's like, everybody's on YouTube.
Oh no, SRB, that's not me. That's not my bag.
By the way, I got that picture turned around for you.
Okay, I heard a little ding ding. I was wondering what that was. All right, here we go.
That was me. I figured I'd give it a minute to make sure.
There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. That's zoomed in now. Here we go. Bam! Look at that. From Kevin Kraft.
That's some of my new things that I'm releasing this year that I actually don't have much made yet, but that's actually slate with my laser. Actually, I'm pretty sure the last time I heard about, hey, your fan's too loud in the shop, I was burning those.
Let me go closer. Here. Oh, I wish I could see. No, I wish I could make us go to this. I can't wait for this custom layout. We're going to fix it. Here, we'll get rid of us. Kib Kitty's asking, you want to explain to everybody exactly what it is?
Coaster.
How you made it?
Coaster that I use a laser engraver for to laser burn the image on.
Laser burned image. Isn't that fucking cool?
Just wait until I get some more glass in, because I can burn glass and stuff like that.
So is that something you can do on a stream, or is that like too bright? Like the laser
I might
stuff?
Actually. I'd have to hop off of this phone. You might lose my audio for a minute, but I can send you a quick video, a short video of stuff that I've done when they're live. Because no, I can. It's just it takes a while, but
well, you know what? I'm gonna be having an open topic show on Thursday. Just go ahead and send it to me after the show, and then we'll just kind of. What do you work Thursday or Friday?
I have a craft show Friday, so I won't be available till probably 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Well, that's perfect.
No.
Yeah, that's perfect. Are you going to be live streaming at your craft show?
I don't normally, just because I don't have that big of a following, and most of the people that follow me on YouTube actually have come over from you. So.
Yeah, but you never know, man. Maybe somebody might come across on a Friday and be like, whoa, what's it? Huh? Somebody's standing in some shopping area with a craft show. What? Who knows, man? You got to put yourself out there. So if you're comfy doing it, do it. I'll chill back. I'll show you while I'm doing my show.
Well, that's the thing at craft shows. It's boring as could be. Cause
is it?
Yeah, most of the time, that's just when I talk to people about how I make stuff and that kind of thing. So, and of course, I say it's boring, and yet I'm sitting here converting a laser over to use a roller instead of a flat. So,
Well, it's good promotion, man, because that looks really freaking cool, and that's cool that you can laser that on what you said, wood, glass, whatever. Can you do it on brick?
that is slate. I don't see why I couldn't do brick. I just don't know what color would come out. I can do certain coatings to burn different metals, stuff like that. There's a lot I can do. It's just a matter of being able to get my hands on the material and having enough extra to work with it beforehand to know what it's going to do.
I gotcha.
Slate gives you a beautiful white color once it's burnt.
Huh. Yeah, the letters are even right on, man. The in the show, that's like right on the money.
Why do you think I had you send me the logos you wanted or that you use? That's what I used it on.
Yeah, I know that's what you used it because I can tell from the logo. But what I'm saying is how it transferred onto that exactly, because the in the show, there's very thin parts to those letters, and that thing transferred the image that I gave you to a T, is what I'm trying to say.
I gotcha. Yeah, I've got some in here with thinner writing, and that's
SRB, spot on.
I've got test patterns and stuff that they do go even thinner than that.
Oh yeah.
It hits, but that just gives you an idea of what everything's gonna look like.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah! Thanks for sharing. Thanks for doing that too. That looks sweet. Hell yeah, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll drop the link if anybody else would like to hop up here, and we're gonna see what Buster had to say. I didn't really watch these because I wanted to save them for tonight.
Can you guys still hear me? My phone just said something weird.
Yeah.
Okay. It said I was disconnected. It's like, how am I disconnected? I still have signal.
Oh, is it StreamYard bugging? It does that to me sometimes.
Well, all I have is my cell phone right now too, so sometimes it does dumb things, but...
All right, let me see here. Steven
that was
Smith.
almost funny.
So Buster Murdaugh denies involvement. This is Court TV. This was from earlier this morning.
Buster Murdaugh is speaking out, asking to be left alone following his father's murder conviction. The surviving Murdaugh son is specifically asking the media to stop speculating about his involvement in the 2015 death of Stephen Smith. Buster's statement reads, quote, "I've tried my best to ignore the vicious rumors about my involvement in Stephen Smith's tragic death that continue to be published in the media as I grieve over the brutal murders of my mother and brother. I love them so much and miss them terribly. I haven't spoken up until now because I want to live in private while I cope with their deaths and my father's incarceration. Before, during, and since my father's trial, I've been targeted and harassed by the media and followers of this story. This has gone on far too long. These baseless rumors of my involvement with Stephen and his death are false. I unequivocally deny any involvement in his death, and my heart goes out to the Smith family. I'm requesting that the media immediately stop publishing these defamatory comments and rumors about me," end quote. Several docuseries and articles have implied that Buster Murdaugh had...
Damn, that's a pretty powerful statement. Yeah. That's a pretty powerful statement. I want to hear that one more time.
speculating about his involvement in the 2015 death of Stephen Smith. Buster's statement reads, quote, "I've tried my best to ignore the vicious rumors about my involvement in Stephen Smith's tragic death that continue to be published in the media as I grieve over the brutal murders of my mother and brother. I love them so much and miss them terribly. I haven't spoken up until now because I want to live in private while I cope with their deaths and my father's incarceration. Before, during, and since my father's trial, I've been targeted and harassed by the media and followers of this story. This has gone on far too long. These baseless rumors of my involvement with Stephen and his death are false. I unequivocally deny any involvement in his death, and my heart goes out to the Smith family. I'm requesting that the media immediately stop publishing these defamatory comments and rumors about me," end quote. Several docuseries and articles have been
Wow, what do you guys think about that? Does it make you think that? I mean, there's other theories out there. So
I'm still wondering if it was that Mark dude, because
yeah,
to me, he sounds like there's something that's just a bit off with him.
not right. Yeah.
That I could see him doing that and maybe
Yes.
not realizing it was wrong, or thinking he can cover it up because whatever.
Or being out of it,
Yeah,
like being
'Cause,
whacked the
I mean-
fuck out.
yeah. Because granted, from the evidence I saw, I still don't think Buster's dad should even be in jail for the murders. I think he had something to do with it, but I don't think he directly pulled the trigger. But
I don't think he pulled the trigger either.
I mean,
I think
it's
he
still
was
the crime.
there. I think he knew about it. I think he knew he was going to happen. I think he turned the other way and went to look over this way, so something over the other way happened. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Just like he tried to do with, the pulling over for the change tire and, oh, somebody shot me in the head.
Yeah. Well,
Same kind of setup,
yeah.
Same kind
My
of
honest
setup.
opinion, I think he paid a hitman to come in and do the deed because he didn't have it in him. But
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all to find out it was because he was trying to hide something from his wife that he screwed up, and knew that something was getting ready to come out for something in evidence, and he'd rather have them not know what he did.
Well, she was getting ready to divorce him, and she owned a lot of the stuff.
Yeah,
So
I forgot about that. But
yeah, that plus, yes, you're right. Because he was in his shady business dealings, she was obviously going to be a star witness,
Yep.
and so would Paul.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure he misses him, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to find out that he had something to do or was directly involved with paying somebody up to make them go away.
So this is what I'm thinking. As of right now, this is my opinion of the Stephen Smith, the whole Mark thing. And he's actually one of the ones I was going to go into tonight before we switched it up to the press conference and such. I would really like to watch his interviews again, and we will watch those tomorrow night when we go into that theory, because I just want everybody to listen to everything he says again one more time and really just let it sink in. And then I think you're going to see what me and Kevin are seeing. And it almost, to me, with the way that the direction of the car,
Fumble. Yeah.
the direction of the car, how it wasn't faced going north, it was faced south. It was faced going south. And it was found right here in this grassy area, and the back left wheel was on the cement, and that was it. And it was parked right there. So it's almost, we discussed this last night. In this area, it's almost like a perfect meetup spot real quick, you know? And it almost seems to me like it was a meetup spot. Somebody went back to the vehicle, siphoned the gas to make it look like he ran out of gas, left the freaking gas cap off because you don't need to put it back on after you siphon it. If you ran out of gas, if you ran out of gas, why would you leave your gas cap off in the first place? Makes no sense. And why would you leave your wallet in your car? So to me, it just doesn't make sense. So I think somebody siphoned the gas out of the damn car to make it look like it ran out of gas, just like they staged the body in the middle of the road to make it look like it was a supposed hit and run.
My only issue with your theory, maybe there was a different problem with the car that they went in and cut a wire. I mean, how do you know that somebody else didn't come by and siphon the gas that wasn't even unrelated? Because didn't they say that area, like the average annual income's like $30,000 or something like that?
17.
Yeah. So, if you're hurting for money and you see a car that's broke down, you can get some gas, and you're not making much. I mean, I could see that kind of thing happening too.
Yeah, I just think it was a meetup spot. And then he went with somebody, or there was an altercation that took place at that spot, because he was supposed to be going to Mark's house, according to Mark that night. He was supposed to be going to Mark's house. Does anybody know where Mark, the direction or general area where Mark resides or resided at the time? I wonder. But I don't know. It almost seems like Mark, to me, I think people need to look into Mark a little bit more instead of the couple of the other theories. They are definitely plausible. But I don't know. When we're watching this stuff, it all said Mark's, he was investigated first. There's da-da-da-da-da. But I don't know. You watch what he's saying. You watch what Steven's twin sister Stephanie is saying about this Mark guy. And you're just like, I don't know. This dude is very, 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 very suspicious. All right, let me get back to this video here. Yeah, that's a pretty powerful statement from Buster. But he would have to come out swinging, I'd suppose.
Immediately stop publishing these inflammatory comments and rumors about, end quote. Several docuseries and articles have implied that Buster Murdaugh had a homosexual relationship with Stephen Smith before Smith was killed.
Oh, sorry, SRB. I mean, there's even theories that you guys have where Alec was even involved because of the what do you call it? The escort stuff. It was funny because I was watching Justice for Jay's for Justice's podcast earlier, and somebody was in her chat that mentioned that exact thing. They thought, I think Alec was involved because of this and this, and I was like, wow. I mean, it's definitely a theory that you have to explore. You never know. Mark is suspicious, but he would have been an easy target. Well, we came across this last night, or maybe it was the night before. The mom, we had news clips where the mom was saying that he had mentioned to her that he was going on a fishing trip that upcoming weekend. He couldn't say who it was, but that it was somebody, of importance. And then during one of the jailhouse calls with Alec and Buster, that specific weekend, Buster went fishing. So what my theory is because I have this is what I feel. I feel Mark was a jealous, in my opinion, speculation. As of now, I feel Mark was a jealous individual that because Stephen Smith's mom said and his sister said that the last 2 weeks before he passed, he became a very private person. Stephanie, his sister, said that he told her that somebody was harassing him and bothering him, but then they became friends. And what I'm thinking it is it was this Mark guy that was harassing the shit out of him. And so Steven's way of not being able to get rid of him, so I'm just going to say, okay. So then Mark, oh, it's my boyfriend, my love of my life. He was probably just trying to keep his enemy closer. And then I'm thinking maybe Mark found out he was going on this fishing trip, and that's where this whole thing fucking happened. His sister already said that he had told her that somebody was chasing him through the woods prior to the crime. I don't know. There's just a lot of suspicious stuff. I know a lot of people think that Buster's involved. I know a lot of people, and trust me, those theories make sense. That's like that. I feel that theory as strong as I do with the whole Mark or somebody else theory. Like, I can totally see. I mean, there's certain signs, as soon as the crime scene takes place, you got Randy showing up. You got Randy calling the mom. He was like, "Hey, was that you that just passed?" And she was like, yeah. Like, how'd he even get her damn number? He called the dad before he called the mom. How did he even get his dad's number? It's crazy.
Gotta love small towns.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's such a rabbit hole.
Death was ruled a hit and run. Stephen Smith's family announced last week that his body will be exhumed following the reopening of the death probe by state authorities. Now, all of this comes following the conviction of Alec Murdaugh for the murders of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. Now, that happened, of course, earlier this month, and Murdaugh then sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars for those crimes. I'm going to bring back in my guests, forensic criminologist Dr. Laura Petler and attorney Joe Tamburino. Dr. Laura, tell us, behind the scenes, what might be going on in terms of the reopening of the death investigation into Stephen Smith's killing?
Sorry, Julie. So the death investigation into Stephen Smith is going to require his body to be exhumed. And anytime there's an exhumation involved with in a case like this, first of all, that has to be documented very thoroughly, that all the steps are being taken to ensure that it's the right body that's being removed, so on and so forth. Then it goes for autopsy. So I don't know about the first autopsy and can't speak to that, but the second autopsy, a lot of that is going to depend on how well the body is preserved, how much information they can get post-exhumation. And I've been involved in cases like this where we've had to go back and look at victims who have been exhumed. And at autopsy, we're trying to take measurements, we're trying to take other information from the body that might not have been collected at the beginning, because that's really the only reason that you want to exhume a body. So from the standpoint of evidence on the body, that's That's that piece. The other pieces are the multidisciplinary aspects of this investigation, primarily the victimology. The victimology is oftentimes, it leads to the smoking gun of who would want to potentially hurt the victim and why that person would need to be dead in order for an offender to benefit. So looking into the victimology and really building that up, that would be the core of my investigation. And then I would use everything else to plug in and
Hey,
compare to the victimology, using that as the litmus test. And that's really going to get to the manner of death. That's going to solve for manner of death. Was it an accident, or is there some kind of foul play involved? So it's quite complex, and it will take a long time if it's done properly.
Well said, Dr. Laura. Thank you for that. Joe Tamburino, I would think investigators would want to talk to Alec Murdaugh about this. We know that he was one of the first people there at that crime scene, and why? Joe, what might that look like now that he's in state prison? Obviously going to continue fighting this case, continue with the appellate process, but how might that look if investigators want to talk to him?
Well, I would imagine he's not going to talk. I mean, right now, he's presumably going to serve the rest of his life in prison. He's doing his appeal, but I don't see a reason why he would talk. Perhaps to make sure that his son is not implicated in this, perhaps. But if he doesn't have any information on it, I don't see why he would talk. However, the situation with Buster, here's what I'm wondering about. Yes, there's a lot of speculation that these two kids knew each other, but so far we've received no evidence of that. There's been no social media evidence, texting, emailing, nothing like that. The death happened in 2015. That wasn't that long ago. Of course, we had Facebook by then. Of course, we had many ways that young people communicate with each other. So we really don't even know if these. So I think a lot of information needs to come out on that issue.
Appreciate it, Joe. We'll leave it there for now, but of course, we're going to continue following any developments we hear in the death investigation to Stephen Smith's death.
Well, crap, it's already going to the next one.
whose death is connected.
Okay, this was the next one I was going to play anyway.
It's rushing you, dude.
I know, man. Frickin' YouTube. Like, you hit pause and it don't even pause it. It just says, oh, fuck you. I'm just going to go to the next one. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, you clicked pause right when it said next video. And you clicked next video, not pause.
Nope. I did not, man. I did not. I've been playing this game too much. Yeah, we are going to check. This is the next one I was going to check out anyway. I like that green heart. That's cool. I need
What
one.
green heart? What?
That Ava put up there.
Oh.
Ava put up there.
Now I got to pull up my other phone.
No, this is Kevin Kraft. Look what he did, Ava. He made these. Yeah, I saw her earlier. Thank you for the kind words, Ava. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. We're just going over some new videos tonight and then going into the full press conference here shortly. And then tomorrow night we're going to be exploring. We'll just go ahead and explore all the theories tomorrow night. But there's I need to find some locations for some other folks, so maybe we'll do our brainstorming tomorrow night and we can figure that out. By the way, I do have the closest gas station. I do have the closest gas station now.
Is that Taco Bell?
No, that is right here, Gate Gas Station. This is the gas station they were referring to in all the reports that everybody's saying he was in the opposite direction of the nearest gas station. So
Gotcha.
that is the gas station now. We got that. So we're building we're building it here. I just need a couple other locations and then I think we'll be okay. But we'll find those out tomorrow night if I don't find them out throughout the night and into the day tomorrow. We'll see. I did not know he had an accent. All right, we're going to this next one, Teen Death New Autopsy. Just a couple new videos that came out today, just talking about the different stuff coming up, coming out, just kind of leading up to the press conference. And then the press conference is about 35 minutes. We'll just sit back, chill back. I'll kind of type in chat just to kind of showcase the press conference for them. That way there's no interruption for them. And then we can go ahead and discuss it after that. Just being busy. Yes, I know this time change. I think it's going to be done now, right? Ain't that time change going to be voted out?
I heard in Ohio they denied it because it was going to affect too many other things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which I'm kind of ticked off about. I'm not going to lie. I won't be right for about another 2 months until I finally get used to losing an hour.
Yeah, it's like gaining the hour's cool. It's losing the hour that messes y'all up.
Gaining the hour was great. I was stuck at work that night and it's like, oh wait, I was an hour behind. Now I'm caught up. Okay, and I took an hour-long nap.
Or 18, right?
Oh no, that was at work. I can't sleep for 18 hours at work, but I can sleep for about 15 minutes here and there.
Right.
I get a good nap in every so often.
Lucky you. I wish I could.
Everything I
to
do
the
is
Murdaugh
automated.
family says
Wish
they
I
will
could.
exhume his body and perform an independent autopsy after they raised more than $60,000. In just hours, Stephen Smith's family will hold a news conference to talk more about their fight to get an independent autopsy. Authorities say that they found Smith's body on a Hampton County road back in 2015. They initially ruled his death as a hit and run, but investigators reopened Smith's case based on what they found during the investigation into Paul and Maggie Murdaugh's murders. Our Riley Miller had a chance to speak to the family's attorney about their fight for justice.
Ultimately, the truth is going to come out.
For almost 8 years, family and friends of Stephen Smith have been asking what happened to him the night of July 8th, 2015. They were originally told Stephen died from a gunshot wound. Then they were told he was beaten. Then a hit and run.
At the very beginning, local law enforcement did a very poor job on this case. A very poor job on this case. Either it was a gross level of incompetence, or they were motivated by other purposes.
June
Damn
23rd,
straight.
2021, SLED announced they were opening their own investigation into Stephen Smith's death based off information gathered in the Murdaugh investigation. The Smith family attorney, Mike Himlep, says their mission is simple. They want anyone who participated in Stephen's murder or covering it up to be held accountable.
That involves the Murdaughs. Let the truth be told. If it doesn't, that's fine. We're going to let the facts dictate that. We're now out on a witch hunt on anybody. We are seeking the truth.
SLED never said what the information was that reopened Stephen's case, nor have we gotten any updates since. However, Himlep says he's optimistic we will one day soon have answers.
Hampton County is a small county. It's a small county. People know. People know what happened. For some reason or another, it's been hidden.
Yeah, they know what happened. Damn straight. Check this out, though. It's up to $77,000 now, but I want you guys to understand something. Here's the link if you want to donate. You know, last night we were talking about, curious, how much would any of this stuff cost, right? So, as we get into the press conference in a little bit, they start to talk figures, and this $77,000 isn't shit. I'm just going to tell you right now. So we were, we were wondering, like, how much would this be? They were only asking 15, Yeah. So when they start going into the figures, the attorney does, and you start to see exactly, this $77,000 isn't going to mean anything right now. I mean, it's going to cover a lot. Don't get me wrong, but this donation shouldn't be done, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot more cost involved, and the attorneys are doing their part for free.
Have
So
you
she
seen the
doesn't.
number that it's going to cost roughly?
When it comes up, I'm gonna start writing the figures down. I was at work when I heard it.
Okay.
But when we start getting into I'm gonna write the figures down because I really would like to know roughly about how much it would cost because I've been curious this whole time. Another thing I want to share real quick, since we're on the topic of the GoFundMe, this is the hate crime bill standing for Stephen creator Suzanne Andrews. I wanted to share this real quick. Anybody can sign it. If you're from South Carolina, also contact your local senators to let them know how important this bill is to you. So there's the link to there and that. You do not have to donate. For some quirky reason on the website, it pops up asking for a donation. You don't have to donate. They just really want your signature. If you'd like to donate, you're more than welcome. They just really need your signature. They're at 3,256 now, and they need to get to 5,000. They just had a couple people sign here recently, so that's cool. It's still going out there. Also, I want to thank Suzanne Andrews for everything that she's done, standing for Stephen. I appreciate her. Go ahead and give her a follow on Twitter if you haven't. And then you can keep up to date on everything that she's got going on. She's currently trying to get through the Senate, and it keeps passing it in the House, but in the Senate, it's having some roadblocks. And if you'd like to check out her appearance on the show, there's a link for that as well. And you can see, you could even see her puppies. She shared a picture of her puppies. It was pretty neat.
Puppies!
Very cool lady. I want to thank her for her sharing her time with us as well. And I can't wait to have her again. All right, so let me go to the next video. We'll just kind of get caught up on a couple of these here. And then we'll get into that press conference. I'll go ahead and throw out the link to the panel if anybody would like to join. And definitely give her a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. And retweet. Retweet. Retweet.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now if I could find... Okay, so we watched those two. Now, that's the update. Okay, now this is an attorney analyzing Buster Murdaugh's statement on the Smith case. So an attorney came out and was wanting to discuss what he thinks. He's going to analyze it. I think it was a very powerful statement. I'm interested to hear whoever they have on there, what they think as well. Everybody think it was a powerful statement? I did. What about you, Kevin? I thought it was pretty damn powerful.
I did. I mean, granted,
Like,
I
he came out
also,
swinging.
I'm also not convinced that he had anything to do with it, because everything that we've seen so far is circumstantial.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, his dad might have, but I don't think he personally did, from what I've heard so far. But
yeah, I'm thinking it's one of those other theories, my friend.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking, and we're going to explore those tomorrow night.
I mean, my personal thinking is it's Mark, and yes, I do work tomorrow.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about going in tonight, but then you hit me up, and it was like, I'll just be lazy. I might go in later.
What's up, Grizz? What's up, Cherry? When's your next night off that you'd want to join the show? And I can save something for that night, man.
Shoot, I was just gonna say Thursday, but I forgot I got a movie reservation.
Ooh, hey, yeah, take care of that personal.
Well,
always.
It's not every weekend the new John Wick movie comes out, so you know.
Hey, I'm secondary. That's where
in the Murdaugh family.
and I don't mind. I appreciate the
Not that you're
secondariness.
secondary. It's just John
I
Wick.
appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. No, for real. Like plenty other people could be doing other things than hanging out with evil CJ.
I know.
You know? So I appreciate it.
But yeah, depending on how late that goes, or I should be out of the craft show I've got Friday, which I'm off again. It's over at, I think they said the official end dates or end time is 9:30 or 9 or 9:30. So once I'm packed up and out of there, I can hop on panel and get on the drive home. And once I get home, there won't be any background noise.
Yeah, I'll be having a late show Friday night anyway. So shit.
Yeah.
It'll be all good. We'll save some shit for Friday.
Okay.
All right. This is an analyst breaking down Buster Murdaugh's statement about the Smith case.
In the Murdaugh family saga, new twist in the cases connected to this family in South Carolina. Alec Murdaugh's surviving son, Buster, who you saw in court if you followed the case, released a statement after the family of Stephen Smith raised money to exhume his body and conduct an independent autopsy. So you may be asking, what is this case? Who is Stephen Smith? Well, his death in 2015 was ruled a hit and run after he was found in the middle of the road, not far from the Murdaugh's family property, Moselle, where the bodies of Maggie and Paul were found. Authorities reopened this investigation years later in 2021 after uncovering some information while investigating the deaths of Maggie and Paul. Well, a recently released documentary on Netflix suggests that Smith and Murdaugh's oldest son, Buster, may have had some sort of relationship. Well, we haven't heard from Buster until now. He is speaking out this morning, and he is releasing a statement saying, in part, these baseless rumors of my involvement with Stephen and his death are false. I unequivocally deny any involvement in his death, and my heart goes out to the Smith family. I am requesting that the media immediately stop publishing these defamatory comments and rumors about me. Joining us this morning, criminal defense attorney and legal analyst Jonna Spilbor. She followed the Murdaugh double murder trial with us, and now we've got this other case. Thanks for being here. You know, for those of us who know all of the different layers to this case, Stephen Smith was a big part of this investigation early on. And the fact that this case got reopened, we still don't yet know what the evidence was that prompted them to take a second look at this, do we?
No,
Of
we
course
don't.
not.
But let's take a look at what we do know. And I think we should make clear that we are not on the cusp of a Murdaugh mystery Netflix series sequel right now. What we have here is not the authorities requesting that the body of Stephen Smith be exhumed and another autopsy performed. This is being done privately by Sandy Smith, Stephen's mother. Now, we cannot blame Sandy for wanting to do this. She, I'm sure, tuned into the Murdaugh murder trial as well. She's had questions about whether or not her son was the victim of an accidental hit and run, or something worse. So she's basically been able to garner some sympathy and create a GoFundMe to create the funds, because this is not a cheap date. In order to exhume somebody, it's costly. To hire a private person to do a second autopsy is expensive. So she's going to go ahead and do that for her own satisfaction. What could possibly come from this? Maybe nothing. Or if there is information that perhaps was overlooked back in 2015, Sandy Smith can bring that to the authorities, SLED, and say, look what I have here. Now what are you going to do with this new information?
So it's been 8 years, though, Jonna. So does evidence get any better with time, or does it get harder and harder to try to understand truly how he may have died? What happened that day?
Right, and that's exactly why I'm feeling sorry for Sandy Smith in a sense, because evidence does not get better with time, and we do not know how badly decomposed her son's body is going to be. It may reveal absolutely nothing new. In fact, sometimes when you have a situation like this specifically, we know that there was trauma to Stephen Smith's head and body. So that part is not going to change. What could possibly change is if they didn't do some toxicology testing, for example, and maybe there is enough tissue that's still intact for them to do that. But I really think that's going to lead down a road to nowhere. And let's be specific here. Really what she's looking for is to tie specifically Buster Murdaugh to the death of her son, Stephen Smith. And right now, there really is nothing but speculation. We have no more information than we did back then, except for the fact that we know that the Murdaugh family reign is over. And maybe people might want to come forward with information now that they didn't want to come forward with in 2015, but that has nothing to do with the condition of the body or what they'll find in a second autopsy.
Yep, and I was telling somebody at work today, I was like, it's any dynasty. You know, you got the generations, the first couple generations where they're hard workers, they're hungry, and then you got the generations that start to follow that then start to get entitled, and then a little more entitled, and then a little more entitled, and then by the end the dynasty falls because of the entitlement. That's exactly what's taking place. The son's boat accident is what really kicked all of this stuff. It started knocking down dominoes. Even though Stephen Smith's domino was the first one that we know of, that's just what we know of. But it still fell down when the second one started to fall. It still came down. There's still Murdaughs in the area, though. I don't know if people... I think after the evidence comes out from an official autopsy, nothing that has anything to do with political ties or any kind of connections, I feel after that, when evidence starts to come out and prove a different story, then I think people will be like, okay. Because it's like all of these news clips we always watch, they always talk, even the family, even the mom, even the sister Stephanie. People talk around there. I mean, come on, it's a small town. Everybody talks. Everybody knows what happens.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what happened. They're just not talking.
And I cannot find what a second autopsy costs anywhere after being exhumed.
The lawyer starts going into numbers, so it's
Okay.
going to be interesting. What are you cooking, Ava? Okay,
Wait,
so
food?
let me
Food,
see.
I'm hungry.
So we know law firm is going to hold press conference. So this gives update on raising funds. So this is the mom talking about the GoFundMe and everything, and it's a new interview from WYFF News 4.
It's a puppy dog.
Let's see here. All right, here we go.
Died in 2015. Run in We have an update tonight on a GoFundMe for the family of Stephen Smith. His mother says she's raised enough money to get his body exhumed and an autopsy done. The 19-year-old died in 2015 after a hitman in Hampton County. With a high profile of the Alec Murdaugh trial, new attention is now on his unsolved death. Smith was a classmate of Alec Murdaugh's older son, Buster. In the Highway Patrol reports, the Murdaugh name was mentioned during the investigation. No arrests have been made. SLED tells WYFF News 4 that the investigation into the case remains active and ongoing. At the beginning of this month, Alec Murdaugh was found guilty of killing his wife Maggie and his son Paul and was sentenced to life in prison.
South Carolina lawmakers are attempting to remove the state's comptroller general from office. Richard Ekstrom is the state's top accountant. He supervises state spending. The Senate has introduced a resolution to remove him from the position. Our Tucker Houck is following this, and he joins us now in the studio.
What the hell? This doesn't have an interview with the mom. It's like sports and all sorts of other stuff. What the heck? That ain't even. They must have. Nope. That's. Here we go.
Sports are important, man.
Wow. That's crazy. When does that happen? Okay.
Apparently right here today.
I guess. Let's see. Buster Murdaugh broke silence. Okay. Law and Crime. News Nation. What is this? Attorney Buster Murdaugh deserves to be free from harassment.
I don't disagree. He hasn't been proven guilty yet.
And on the mysterious
That's
death
true.
of Stephen Smith.
That's
The
true.
19-year-old was found dead, lying in the middle of a road not far from the Murdaugh family property in South Carolina. And now Smith's former classmate, Buster Murdaugh, is breaking his silence after much public speculation about his possible connection to Smith's death. Buster, who is Alec Murdaugh's only living son, now releasing a statement denying any involvement and calling the rumors baseless. Buster's statement released the same morning South Carolina law firm Bland Richter announcing representation for Sandy Smith, vowing to help find out what led to her son's tragic death. Mandy Powers Norrell is an attorney and former legislator in South Carolina, joins us live. Mandy, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Bland Richter has represented several victims linked to the Murdaughs, including the former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. What does this mean for the Stephen Smith case, potentially?
Well, thank you for having me. I am excited for Sandy Smith to have such adamant representation for her pursuit of justice. She has waited for justice since 2015 in the death of her son, and I know Eric Bland. I know that he and his partner Ronnie Richter. I know they will work very hard to help her get some answers.
So Buster in the statement is calling his connection to Smith's death, quote, baseless rumors. But is that accurate, Mandy? Because isn't it true that his name and the Murdaugh family name was mentioned numerous times during the initial investigation when the death happened in 2015?
I do believe that's true. I do believe that that these are, rumors at this point and nothing more than rumors. If they were more than rumors, Buster would have been charged in the death of Stephen Smith. I think a lot of people are having trouble holding two truths at the same time. Buster is a victim of murder, the murder of his brother and his mother. He deserves justice, privacy, and to be free from harassment. Sandy Smith is a victim of an unsolved murder of her son. She deserves justice, privacy, and to be free from harassment. And I think both are true, and one does not negate the other.
Absolutely. Two things true at the same time. It's possible this statement could in any way later hurt Buster down the road.
I don't see it hurting him. I think what he's saying, he's been silent for a really long time. I think his silence has emboldened people to go with the rumors that are mentioned in the and they have not been held back. There's been no chilling effect. I hope that his statement will say, okay, yeah, now we really need to get to the truth of it. If it leads to him or to anybody else, that justice needs to be served, and the truth needs to be what prevails in this.
And let's focus in on the truth of it. His death was ruled a hit and run, although not all medical experts agree. His own mother calls it suspicious. Here's what lawyer Eric Bland had to say earlier today about this investigation.
Fresh set of eyes, a new autopsy may yield a different conclusion that Stephen was not killed on Sandy Run Road in Bamberg County, that maybe he was killed somewhere else. We think that he did not die on that road
I
that
don't
fateful
either.
night. We think that there was other reasons and other causes that caused his death.
All right. So we recommend you there from the, but let's see. Even if it was for
death. It looks like it was not a hit and run. There were no car parts there. There were no, he had his shoes on. It looks very much, and even the investigators at the time took issue with the medical examiner's report that it was a hit and run. This did not look like a hit and run, and Sandy Smith waited far too long to get answers. And hopefully with the exhumation of his body, she can at least find out how he died. Somebody knows. And whoever knows, there's more than one person, the first one to get to law enforcement and tell is so anybody know.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get.
Gotcha, YouTube. All right, this is the one that SRB was talking about. I'll go ahead and go to that one next. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see if I have it in the rotation. What the hell?
I mean, I just love him. And since I couldn't protect him, I'm going to fight for him.
Nearly 8 years after Stephen Smith was found dead in the middle of a Hampton County road, his mother, Sandy, wants an independent autopsy conducted to find out how her son died.
I want to thank everyone who's donated and supported us from the beginning. But I hope to find the real reason for Stephen's death.
Sandy Smith enlisting the help of a new legal team to ask a judge to exhume Stephen's body.
We're going to hire experts who are going to come into this case with a fresh set of eyes, with an open mind. This is not a Alex Murdaugh 2.0 or any Murdaugh 2.0. This is a Steve.
All right, and this is from the press conference that we're going to be watching here coming up. I don't know what kind of press. What is it, like a Weber conference or something? What is that called? I don't even know. Let me know if you know. I'm just calling it press conference.
Webinar.
That's what everybody else is calling it. So I'm just calling it a press conference. Fuck it.
Stephen Smith 2.0. It's all about Stephen.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar podcast. Stephen Smith was just 19 years old when he was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road, dead, in the early morning hours of July 8th, 2015. His yellow car apparently ran out of gas nearby. The pathologist who conducted the first autopsy on Stephen Smith concluded he died as the result of a hit and run. Stephen had trauma to his head and a dislocated shoulder. But some investigators didn't believe that because of a lack of vehicle debris in the road. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division opened an investigation into Stephen's death following the murders of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh. A SLED spokesperson said at the time that information had come to light during that investigation that led them to open an investigation into Stephen's death. Last week, Sandy Smith started a GoFundMe page asking to raise $15,000 for an exhumation and independent autopsy. That page has now raised more than $65,000. Sandy Smith has retained attorneys Eric Bland and Ronnie Richter to help her start the investigation into Stephen's death from square one.
We think a lot of the pre-death communications can be relevant. We also think that post-death communications on different people could yield some information. One of the things that we can do is start a civil suit to look at the cause of death, which would give us subpoena power as well as discovery rights under the South Carolina Rules of Civil Procedure.
And joining me to discuss the latest developments is Sandy Smith. She, of course, is the mother of Stephen Smith, and her new attorney, Ronnie Richter, who will now be representing Sandy Smith moving forward, along with his partner, Eric Bland. So Ronnie and Sandy, welcome to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Sandy, I want to start with you. I've talked to you on the phone, and I can't imagine, I can only imagine as a mom what this has been like over the last many years, almost 8 years now. Talk to me about your son. I want to hear from you about him.
He was a wonderful, amazing son. He was very intelligent, spontaneous. He was like my world. And yep, he loved books, he loved school, and he loved his family.
And at the time of his death, he was studying to be a nurse and apparently also wanted to be a doctor.
Yes. He was going to start at the bottom and work his way up.
You know, he was a twin, and I know twins are often very special. I'm sure this has been devastating for his sister because twins often have that special connection.
Absolutely. But she's maintaining good. She's doing great.
You've been represented by a few attorneys now. Obviously, you've moved in a different direction, retaining Eric and Ronnie. So what are you hoping to achieve by retaining them?
I'm hoping to achieve the truth about what happened to my son.
And Ronnie, let's talk a little bit about that process.
And I want to pause it to respect the creator. And also, dang, everything, my beeps are going off like crazy in my headset.
Everybody blow him up.
Holy shit. Damn, bling, 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 bling. Damn.
Let me boot up my combat flight simulator. I'll drive you crazy with beeps.
Right? No, I wanted to respect the creator, but also, I can't imagine being a twin and, because they always say there's that special connection that you have that you can't describe, and I didn't know she was a twin until today. Oh, Ava. You're funny. Still need the zapper. I know, I gotta research a soundboard. I gotta find a soundboard that's around 100 or so. Like $100 or less. I need to look for a soundboard. Thing is that I don't know what's good, what's not good, whatever. I just need to be able to plug my USB stuff, and I don't know. I just have to research it. I've just been researching this case so much. I've just put all that stuff on the side for right now until I can make sure I get as much as I can up in the brain. Because it won't be long, until the body's exhumed and the autopsy's done. It'll be a process, but yeah, I just wanted to pause this real quick we'll be getting into the press conference after this video's done. We'll go ahead and skip the rest. We'll save those for another night. And we'll get into the press conference here in about 15 minutes. And then that's about a 35-minute watch. And then we'll go ahead and chit-chat for a little bit after that. And then we'll go ahead and end the night. Got tomorrow night off, so I'll be back Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And I'm not sure what show we're having yet. Probably be open topic. But I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to be going into the theories, all the theories tomorrow night. So please, again, I'll throw the link up there again. Check out the video with the theories. I do have it in the timestamp, so you can just go to the specific part of the video. It's in the timestamp. And let me see here. And let me know what you come up with, what you're thinking. Me and Kevin are thinking kind of the same thing. So we'll be exploring that theory tomorrow night. And then when Kevin, the next night you're back on, just give me a heads up, and then I'll go ahead and make sure we talk about this and get your theory in it all. And even if we're not doing a show on this, even if it's like a open topic night or something, I'll go ahead and save that part and I'll feature it on the next episode, even if you're working, so I can get your thoughts and opinions and the theories and such too.
Okay, and like I said, I should be able to hop on Friday night after about 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
And if you want anything for the open panel, let me know, because I got one more glass I'm engraving for me, and then I got an idea I might be doing that I might actually do a video on, but
oh, cool.
I'll give you first access if you want it.
Yeah, that'll be cool, man.
Which I'll be ready to do that in about 35 minutes, because I just put another one on.
Well, I probably won't be able to do it tonight, because after I end the show, then I got...
It wouldn't be tonight. I'll just record it and send you the video.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, to show it. Yeah, that's right. From the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah, I got you now, buddy. Cool. Yeah, definitely check out that. Take some notes. Give me what you think happened. Tell me what you think, who you think's involved. I want to hear your theory tomorrow night, whether it's in chat or on open panel. And anybody's welcome to join open panel tomorrow night too. We're just going to be exploring all the different theories, and I'm going to be I thought you were off tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh, that's right.
I'm off on Wednesday. My bad. I
That's
might have
right.
said a second ago I was off tomorrow.
Yeah, you did, which is what
It's
threw
Monday.
me off.
It's Monday. I'm pooped.
Is it Monday? I thought it was still Sunday.
Man, I worked my ass off this weekend researching. I had a headache. 3 ibuprofen couldn't even knock it out, so I was looking at computer screens the whole weekend.
You could have took 4.
Digging and digging, man. Digging and digging. Trying
Yeah, I
to
hear
figure all
that.
this out, But it's well worth it, though. All right, so we'll go ahead and get back to this, and then after this is done, we'll go ahead and head over to the press conference, watch that. I'll type back to you in chat as we're discussing it or whatever, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go full screen on it too. So if you don't mind, Kevin, if you want to mute it during the press conference, and then after it's done, then we'll go ahead and start chatting about it and see what we all think, and we'll go ahead and end it after that. I'm just going to go ahead and use this press conference to make a short clip out of it to throw it up on the channel after we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everything, and then I'll go ahead and talk to you in chat while we're watching it. But back to this Law and Crime. I appreciate this because this is an interview with the mom that is beyond what we're going to be watching after this. So I appreciate this from Law and Crime.
You guys are going to petition the court for an exhumation. How challenging do you think it will be to get that court order?
Well, it's not something that happens very often, right? So we have to show that we have good cause for it, and I think that we do in this circumstance. I think when you lay out all the facts around Stephen's death, there are more questions than answers, and the conclusion that was reached, if you ask us, it just doesn't match with the physical evidence at the scene. If you got a victim in the middle of a roadway, the conclusion is it was a vehicular hit and run, and yet there's no vehicular debris of any kind whatsoever. His shoes are still on his feet. If his car did in fact break down miles down the road, he had a cell phone with him the entire time. So it makes no sense. It appears to us as if he was killed elsewhere and that his body was deposited in the roadway.
Last night, so and anybody you talk to, even the state troopers, LE, any of them say if it's a hit and run, rarely do they ever have their shoes on. The shoes weren't even tied that tight. So it just doesn't make sense.
And I think that's one of the most curious things, the fact that he did have a cell phone on him. And had he run out of gas, he probably would have called Sandy. Do you believe that's what he would have done? Called someone for help, saying, "Hey, I ran out of gas." Do you believe he would have just walked toward your home?
No, he wouldn't have walked. He would have called his twin sister, who was closer to where his body was found in his car. He would have called her, and she would have come and got him. She had waited up for him all night, waiting on a call, but she never got one.
Wow.
And why was that? Did she just because he hadn't come?
That's the first time we heard that. That's the first time we heard that. She had waited up all night.
And I think that's one of the most curious things, the fact that he did have a cell phone on him. And if had he
Whoa.
run out of gas, he probably would have called Sandy. Do you believe that's what he would have done? Called someone for help, saying, "Hey, I ran out of gas." Do you believe he would have just walked toward your home?
No, he wouldn't have walked. He would have called his twin sister, who was closer to where his body was found in his car. He would have called her, and she would have come and got him. She had waited up for him all night, waiting on a call, but she never got one.
And why was that?
Wow.
Did she just because he hadn't come home, or?
She waited up
because he
all
left
night.
and he didn't say where he was going, and he would have been home early enough to go to bed because he had to get up at 6 a.m. to go to school the next day.
Wow.
Sandy, obviously, Stephen was openly gay. Did he ever feel any animus in the community? Because we've heard that is something that might be frowned upon in the Hampton County area. Did he ever feel that way? Did he feel like anybody mistreated him because of
That's the
that?
first time I heard that.
No, he got picked on at school a little bit, but that's bullying to me. But he never let stuff bother him, He said, "I am who I am."
Ronnie, Sandy launched this GoFundMe last week, and she's already exceeded her goal of now it's more than 60,000. I think the original goal was around 15. You guys said that you would be hiring investigators, pathologists. So talk to me a little bit about how that is going to work and how you ensure you get the right people that people that are grade A.
Yes. So there are people that do this, obviously. And thanks to the folks who donated to the GoFundMe page, we're not limited to just the local talent in the state. And so we are going to be looking on a broader scale to find those folks who are involved in cold cases, who have done exhumations before, who are skilled in examining a body as old as Stephen's, to see if they can find out new information about the cause of death. So that's going to be a process. Now, locally, yes, the boots on the grounds investigators, there's plenty of those, lots of skilled people in South Carolina. There's folks forensically who can help us examine all the electronic information from his cell phone and other devices. So it's going to be a full team approach. We need electronic forensics, we need boots on the grounds investigators, but most importantly, we need that key component of someone of national reputation who has done exhumations before, who could do a pathology on an 8-year-old body now and tell us hopefully new information that we didn't know before.
I'm wondering also, Ronnie.
And the pathologist has to be experienced with bodies that are exhumed. That has to be part of it, and it will be part of it.
I'm assuming you'll be soliciting information from the public. Any tips? Is there a way that people can submit information to your office?
Yeah, so I'm Ronnie at blandrichter.com. Eric is Eric Bland at blandrichter.com. You can call the office, 843-573-9900. We are absolutely enlisting the aid of the public here because we know that folks out there know something about what happened. This couldn't have happened in silence. So even if somebody did strike him with a vehicle and then move on, somebody left a body behind and didn't render aid. And that in itself is a pretty serious crime. So we just want answers. We met Sandy through the Satterfield case. Mm-hmm. And so we've come to know her over the years, and our hearts have always just been broken for her to be in her circumstance, a mother who's lost a child this way with all these open questions. She wants, she needs, she deserves these answers. And God willing, we're going to get those answers for her.
Sandy, I want to go back to that GoFundMe. It really exploded. Did you anticipate it taking off like this, that people would see this and open up their wallets, because people apparently, I don't know about around the world, but across the country for sure have seen this and contributed?
Yes, it's amazing. And I never thought it would get to where it's at now. And I just want to thank everybody for all the love and the support that they're giving us to get this job done and get it done properly.
You deserve it.
I read on Twitter that you said, I think you told Mandy Matney that Stephen always complained about how expensive the books were for school, and that you may at some point want to start a scholarship fund in his memory. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, if there is any funds left, it will go towards a scholarship fund to help students with their materials or whatever they need help with.
Mm-hmm. And Sandy, what would you say to anybody watching this or listening to this out there who may have some information, and when I say information, I mean viable information.
If you know something, say something.
Right.
You could remain anonymous, we just need answers. We want answers. If you know something, please say something.
Mm-hmm. And Ronnie, back to you. As far as the investigation with SLED goes, you're saying you want this exhumation. Has SLED ever brought this up, the possibility of exhuming Stephen's body?
Well, no, but in defense of SLED, I mean, an investigation was conducted, an autopsy was performed. There was a cause of death that was attributed. So I feel like when you read those examination papers, I'm not satisfied that they were fully satisfied with the answers, but those were the answers that they had. So we're not being critical of SLED. We're hoping to partner with SLED. We're hoping that if we get the exhumation done and we could show them new evidence, new things that they didn't have a chance to consider, that maybe it brings their resources back into play and that they're reinvigorated into this investigation. So this is not us trying to end run SLED. This is not a criticism of SLED. What we really want is a partnership with SLED. We want them back involved in the investigation. And we hope that the hook that gets them there is an independent autopsy from someone of national reputation who's done this before, who can tell us what really happened to Stephen.
Ronnie, do you expect to have access to evidence in this case? In particular, the clothing of Stephen that had some trace evidence on it, possibly some blue paint flecks. Do you expect to be able to get access to things like that so there can be some independent testing done?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that evidence currently resides. If it's still in the possession of SLED, then it's going to be discretionary with them whether they share that with us. And Eric had mentioned this at the press conference. We'd like a two-way street on this, even if it's just a one-way street. You can rest assured that we will be sharing with them. We hope in the spirit of partnership that they share back with us. Every question will be asked through this investigation. I can assure you that. And I do want to speak real quick to the money, because I know it's a very legitimate question for people to ask. We are donating our time towards this cause. I can tell you, having met Sandy.
Oh, come on. Bleep is
we've
played
known her
out.
now for years. I have never heard her one time say she wanted $1. I have only heard her say she wants answers. And so that is the sole goal of this investigation, is to get her those answers that she deserves.
And Sandy, being a mom, having to get up every day and go about your life without having those answers, incredibly painful, I'm sure.
It is. Yeah, very painful. But I survived through my grandchildren. They keep me laughing. They remind me of him. So
yeah,
I can just see him in them.
Aw, that's
the
sweet.
grandkids are the best. I hear. I'm not at that point yet, but
That's sweet.
I can only imagine that they provide you a lot of joy and a lot of comfort. And I just wanted to wrap up, Sandy, by talking about SLED. When I spoke with you by phone, you said that they do keep you up to date, but obviously it's an open investigation and there's not much that they can tell you.
Yes, and I mean, they're working. It's just they're limited on what they can share right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would interfere in their case. And I'm patient. I've been patient, and I can wait.
Well, let's hope you don't have to wait too much longer. Ronnie Richter of Bland Richter and Sandy Smith, thank you so much for joining me and giving me your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Throughout the investigation into Stephen Smith's death, some people reported to investigators rumors that they had heard that Buster Murdaugh and his family may have somehow been involved in Stephen Smith's death. That has been featured, that information has been featured in documentaries, and rumors have circulated online about Buster Murdaugh somehow being involved. On Monday morning, that prompted Buster Murdaugh to issue a statement. He called the rumors that he was somehow involved in Stephen's death vicious. He and Stephen went to high school together. He called these rumors and the claims about his involvement in Stephen's death defamatory and denied unequivocally any involvement in Stephen Smith's death. This is what attorney Eric Bland had to say about Buster Murdaugh.
You know, as we sit here today, Buster is a victim. He lost a mother, a brother, and now his father's in jail. You know, Buster, as we know, has nothing to do with this. And whatever is mentioned in the records, that's what investigators are going to look at. But we have no knowledge at all about Buster or the Murdaughs having anything to do with this right now. We're starting with a fresh set of eyes.
For its part, SLED has said in the past that progress is being made into the investigation into Stephen Smith's death, but they won't say much more. A spokesperson, as of the time of this recording, has not returned my request for comment on these latest developments about Sandy Smith wanting an independent autopsy. And that's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar podcast. You can listen to and download Sidebar on Apple, Spotify, Google.
I always appreciate Law and Crime. Yeah, when it comes to like trying to find that, if anybody does have the information, you can go ahead and throw it up there. I just don't want to interrupt what they're saying with skipping back and forth. I just want to be able to respect the content creator and not have it jumping around. So I'm thinking maybe it was around here. I don't know, Kib Kitty, do you know where at in the video the information was? Sorry, I didn't notice it. There's just a bunch of other stuff I have going on in the background, so sometimes while the video is playing, I have to manage and maintain other things at the same time. I'm not sure. Maybe right here? You know what? Better yet, so we don't drag it out, we're already running a little bit behind. If you can, just go ahead and reach out and chat and ask them what contact info you were referring to, and then maybe one of the mods or somebody in chat can actually throw up the number, and then when you do, I'll go ahead and post the chat message up on the screen, so that way people can contact them. Let me see here. We're going to go ahead and switch to this press conference here. So give me 1 second. And I'm still here. I just need to get rid of that. We're going to throw that up. Okay, 1 second. I'll be able to here shortly, Kib Kitty. I just have to get all this going. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get to the press conference. 39 minutes, but I think... Let's see here. Okay, full screen. All right, thank you for your patience. Just wanted to make sure that I got totally on that. I'm going to go ahead and go full screen with this. Actually, we'll go ahead and go with this one. I like this one better anyway. All right, we'll go ahead and go with this full screen. All right, now I guess it didn't take place right away, so I'm going to be skipping a little bit here. Liz Farrell.
I know, I've got it up.
Good morning, everybody. You'll mute your mics when you come in. We're allowing recordings, and this will also be live streaming on Bland Richter's Facebook page. You'll letting everybody in right.
Skid marks around his body.
All
Our
right, one
partner,
second.
Liz Farrell.
All right, so we'll go ahead and start it from here, and then we'll chill back, and I'll go ahead and type back in chat, and then we'll talk after this is done. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Thank you. People are still coming in. Appreciate you guys. I want to introduce and thank Stephen's mother, Sandy Smith. Sandy, thank you for being here and joining us today. Sandy's grace and courage throughout this process shines through, and I hope that everyone here is committed to finding the truth and the peace that she deserves. I also would like to introduce Eric Bland and Ronnie Richter, the founders of Bland Richter Law Firm. Eric is also the co-host of Cup of Justice, along with Mandy Matney, an award-winning journalist who has been an integral part of sharing Stephen's story through her podcast, The Murdaugh Murders and Cup of Justice. Mandy and her partner, Liz Farrell, were the first to write about Stephen's story and have continually put pressure on the fact that his death needs to be reinvestigated. They are a foundational reason that we are here today and have been incredible advocates for Sandy and Stephen Smith. Thank you all so much. Mandy's also here with us to answer any questions. With that being said, I want to give the floor to Ronnie, then Mandy, then Eric, and we will be taking questions at the end. So please keep your mics down. You can ask questions in the chat. I'll be fielding those. And I just want to thank you all for being here, and let's get started. Ronnie, floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ronnie Richter, partner of the Bland Richter Law Firm. My partner, Eric Bland, and I are honored today to announce our representation of Sandy Smith as it relates to a renewed investigation into the death of her son, Stephen Smith. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 4 a.m., Stephen Smith's body was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road in Hampton County. There were no skid marks around his body. There was no vehicular debris found. His loosely tied shoes were still on his feet. His motor vehicle was about 3 miles away on Bamberg Road with the gas cap removed. And while it would appear that his car broke down and he had walked for help, he never called for help from the cell phone that was found on his body. Sandy Smith has never accepted the conclusion of the cursory investigation that followed his death that concluded that his death was a result of a hit and run. And it is our job today, it is our honor today to launch a new investigation into this death in the hopes of finding real answers to the questions that still persist surrounding Stephen's death.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Eric, we're going to pass the baton to you. Oh, your mic.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this press conference and the introduction of Bland Richter into this investigation. I've been a lawyer for 35 years, and many of our cases come to us after other people have represented clients. And so this is nothing different than what we've had many times in our career. And what we're going to do is start over. We're going to hire experts who are going to come into this case with a fresh set of eyes, with an open mind, without any preconceived conclusions, being objective, and wherever the facts go, that's where the investigation will go. We've been hired, and we're going to give our time to petition the court to get permission to exhume the body of Stephen. We're going to have to show good cause to the court why they should do it, because in our state, like in every other state, people who have died have rights. They don't end when their heartbeat stops. And Stephen has a right not to have his grave disturbed, as do other people who are buried. And so we're going to have to petition the court, show facts that would indicate that a fresh set of eyes, a new autopsy, may yield a different conclusion, that Stephen was not killed on Sandy Run Road in Bamberg County, that maybe he was killed somewhere else. And if we get that permission, Ronnie and I are going to supervise and oversee the exhumation process, making sure it's respectfully done. You have to have a funeral director there. There has to be protocols put in place to make sure that the remains are not disturbed any more than they should be. and do it in a respectful fashion, and hire investigators who are going to go back and do a Stephen Smith 2.0. This is not a Alex Murdaugh 2.0 or any Murdaugh 2.0. This is a Stephen Smith 2.0. It's all about Stephen. And what we intend to do is look at his life. You know, look at the life 90 days before July 8th, 2015. Look at who he was associating with. Who were his friends? What kind of communications did he have? What were his plans? We knew that he was a nursing student and obviously wanted to become a doctor. We think a lot of the pre-death communications can be relevant. We also think that post-death communications on different people could yield some information. One of the things that we can do is start a civil suit to look at the cause of death, which would give us subpoena power as well as discovery rights under the South Carolina Rules of Civil Procedure. But all those are decisions that are going to be made down the road. The first decision, it has to be made by a judge. And hopefully a judge will see that we have good cause to open Stephen's death. We think that he did not die on that road that fateful night. We think that there was other reasons and other causes that caused his death. Our job is not to find out who did it. That's not what we do. We're not law enforcement. We're not doing a criminal case. We're helping in an investigation, and what we're really trying to do is give a mother answers. Parents should never have to witness children dying before them, and Sandy has witnessed that. And for 8 years, all she has is questions. And you know, we're very grateful for law enforcement for what they've done so far to date on this case. We know that in September 2021, they opened the investigation. Sorry, I'm jittery. I had my knee replaced, so I'm trying to get comfortable. But in September 2021, they opened an investigation into Stephen's death, and we have maintained that SLED should have been and is the proper investigative agency for Stephen's death. And so we intend to share anything that we may find in our own investigation with law enforcement. There's no secret sauce here. There's no intent on us trying to trump anybody. It's our goal that we can all work jointly together.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. We're going to open the floor for any questions. If you want to raise your hand or drop it in the chat or flip off your mic, that all works. The first one that I'm looking at here is, what are the next steps around getting the new investigation moving?
Ronnie?
Yeah, so the immediate next steps would be to petition the court for the right to exhume the body. And on a parallel track, we'll be reaching out to experts in the field who've done this before, who've performed autopsies on bodies, that are several years old, like Stephen. So hopefully by the time we get the permission of the court, granted we get the permission of the court, we'll be engaging with experts who are qualified in this field to examine a body like Stephen's and still be able to come up with some forensic answers for what happened that day. It's important that I say today as well that part of this presser is an appeal to the public that, if you have information, if you know information about Stephen, about what you think might have happened, we urge anyone in the public with that type of information to reach out to us and share it. It's going to be hard to open an investigation after 8 years, but it has to start with an examination of his body and an independent determination of the true cause of death, which we don't accept to be vehicular manslaughter.
Thank you, Ronnie. Next question from Andrew Davis. This crime happened a long time ago now. Do we know what can actually be found during an autopsy now? What is still viable and what information or evidence may be difficult to recreate or find?
I'll take that. I think that the forensic experts will be able to determine if indeed he was struck by an automobile. Certainly there would be marks on his body from a bumper of a car or a hood. To our knowledge, there was only shoulder up injuries, which would indicate that there was not
No, I was messing around with links, unfortunately. I was messing around with links and then, yeah.
So I'm not
All right,
crazy?
so no, you're not crazy.
Okay.
I'm messing with links in the background and that happens. So I apologize. Let
Okay.
me start that over.
I just freaked out a little bit.
I apologize about that. Give me
All
one
good, man.
second here. Sorry about that, everybody. The funny stuff with the live show.
People are still coming in. Appreciate you.
And I'll go ahead and make sure that I put in the description the actual start time of
I
this
want to
one.
introduce and thank Stephen's mother, Sandy Smith. Sandy, thank you for being here and joining us today. Sandy's grace and courage throughout this process shines through, and I hope that
Good
everyone
evening,
here
Cold
is
Truth.
committed to finding the truth and the
Thank you
peace
for
that she
hopping in.
deserves. I also would like to introduce Eric Bland and Ronnie Richter, the founders of Bland Richter Law Firm. Eric is also the co-host of Cup of Justice, along with Mandy Matney, an award-winning journalist who has been an integral part of sharing Stephen's story through her podcast, The Murdaugh Murders and Cup of Justice. Mandy and her partner, Liz Farrell, were the first to write about Stephen's story and have continually put pressure on the fact that his death needs to be reinvestigated. They are a foundational reason that we are here today and have been incredible advocates for Sandy and Stephen Smith. Thank you all so much. Mandy's also here with us to answer any questions. With that being said, I want to give the floor to Ronnie, then Mandy, then Eric, and we will be taking questions at the end. So please keep your mics down. You can ask questions in the chat. I'll be fielding those. And I just want to thank you all for being here, and let's get started. Ronnie, floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ronnie Richter, partner of the Bland Richter Law Firm. My partner, Eric Bland, and I are honored today to announce our representation of Sandy Smith as it relates to a renewed investigation into the death of her son, Stephen Smith. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 4 a.m., Stephen Smith's body was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road in Hampton County. There were no skid marks around his body. There was no vehicular debris found. His loosely tied shoes were still on his feet. His motor vehicle was about 3 miles away on Bamberg Road with the gas cap removed. And while it would appear that his car broke down and he had walked for help, he never called for help from the cell phone that was found on his body. Sandy Smith has never accepted the conclusion of the cursory investigation that followed his death that concluded that his death was a result of a hit and run. And it is our job today, it is our honor today to launch a new investigation into this death in the hopes of finding real answers to the questions that still persist surrounding Stephen's death.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Eric, we're going to pass the baton to you. Next off.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this press conference and the introduction of Bland Richter into this investigation. I've been a lawyer for 35 years, and many of our cases come to us after other people have represented clients. And so this is nothing different than what we've had many times in our career. And what we're going to do is start over. We're going to hire experts who are going to come into this case with a fresh set of eyes, with an open mind, without any preconceived conclusions, being objective, and wherever the facts go, that's where the investigation will go. We've been hired, and we're going to give our time to petition the court to get permission to exhume the body of Stephen. We're going to have to show good cause to the court why they should do it, because in our state, like in every other state, people who have died have rights. They don't end when their heartbeat stops. And Stephen has a right not to have his grave disturbed, as do other people who are buried. And so we're going to have to petition the court, show facts that would indicate that a fresh set of eyes, a new autopsy, may yield a different conclusion, that Stephen was not killed on Sandy Run Road in Bamberg County, that maybe he was killed somewhere else. And if we get that permission, Ronnie and I are going to supervise and oversee the exhumation process, making sure it's respectfully done. You have to have a funeral director there. There has to be protocol in place to make sure that the remains are not disturbed any more than they should be, and do it in a respectful fashion. And hire investigators who are going to go back and do a Stephen Smith 2.0. This is not a Alex Murdaugh 2.0 or any Murdaugh 2.0. This is a Stephen Smith 2.0. It's all about Stephen. And what we intend to do is look at his life. Look at the life 90 days before July 8th, 2015. Look at who he was associating with. Who were his friends? What kind of communications did he have? What were his plans? We knew that he was a nursing student and obviously wanted to become a doctor. We think a lot of the pre-death communications can be relevant. We also think that post-death communications on different people could yield some information. One of the things that we can do is start a civil suit to look at the cause of death, which would give us subpoena power as well as discovery rights under the South Carolina Rules of Civil Procedure. But all those are decisions that are going to be made down the road. The first decision, it has to be made by a judge. And hopefully a judge will see that we have good cause to open Stephen's death. We think that he did not die on that road that fateful night. We think that there was other reasons and other causes that caused his death. Our job is not to find out who did it. That's not what we do. We're not law enforcement. We're not doing a criminal case. We're helping in an investigation, and what we're really trying to do is give a mother answers. Parents should never have to witness children dying before them, and Sandy has witnessed that. And for 8 years, all she has is questions. And we're very grateful for law enforcement for what they've done so far to date on this case. We know that in September 2021, they opened the investigation. Sorry, I'm jittery. I had my knee replaced, so I'm trying to get comfortable. But in September 2021, they opened an investigation into Stephen's death, and we have maintained that SLED should have been and is the proper investigative agency for Stephen's death. And so we intend to share anything that we may find in our own investigation with law enforcement. There's no secret sauce here. There's no intent on us trying to trump anybody. It's our goal that we can all work jointly together.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. We're going to open the floor for any questions. If you want to raise your hand or drop it in the chat or flip off your mic, that all works. The first one that I'm looking at here is, what are the next steps around getting the new investigation moving?
Ronnie?
Yeah, so the immediate next steps would be to petition the court for the right to exhume the body. And on a parallel track, we'll be reaching out to experts in the field who've done this before, who've performed autopsies on bodies, that are several years old, like Stephen. So hopefully by the time we get the permission of the court, granted we get the permission of the court, we'll be engaging with experts who are qualified in this field to examine a body like Stephen's and still be able to come up with some forensic answers for what happened that day. It's important that I say today as well that part of this presser is an appeal to the public that, if you have information, if you know information about Stephen, about what you think might have happened, we urge anyone in the public with that type of information to reach out to us and share it. It's going to be hard to open an investigation after 8 years, but it has to start with an examination of his body, and an independent determination of the true cause of death, which we don't accept to be vehicular manslaughter.
Thank you, Ronnie. Next question from Andrew Davis. This crime happened a long time ago now. Do we know what can actually be found during an autopsy now? What is still viable and what information of evidence may be difficult to recreate or find?
I'll take that. I think that the forensic experts will be able to determine if indeed he was struck by an automobile. Certainly there would be marks on his body from a bumper of a car or a hood. To our knowledge, there was only shoulder up injuries, which would indicate that he wasn't struck by a bumper of a car. They'll be able to determine fractures that would indicate if somebody was projected being hit by a car, if he was really hit in the back of the head with blunt force. I know they've indicated they thought it may have been a mirror from a truck, how far he would be projected. You guys saw in the Murdaugh murder trial, I mean, so much can be done with technology and computer simulation and measurements. And certainly the technology that exists today didn't exist in 2015. We all learned about the importance of phone mapping. And we intend to go back and look at phones, look at where they were, who he spoke to, who spoke to him. Stephen had to live a secret life. There's no question about it. Being young and gay in the Low Country was not an easy thing to do. It's not easy today, certainly wasn't easy in 2015. He didn't hide it. He was proud of being gay. However, he had to be cautious. And people that have to be cautious have to be secretive. And so we're going to try to break down some of those secret walls. Sandy herself would like to know some things that she suspects. But, Stephen had to live a very secret, careful life. And we have to break down those walls.
Thanks, Eric. Next question comes from Bristow Marchant. How much money has been raised for the exhumation, and what specifically will that money go toward? The exhumation itself, legal costs, etc.
Mandy?
Oh, Mandy, your mic's off.
Your mic.
Okay, I'm back on. Hey, I don't know the exact cost of an exhumation or anything, but I can also just assure everyone I've known Sandy for 4 years now, and the only thing this woman wants is answers. And I can guarantee you that she is going to put every penny to getting answers toward her for her son to get justice, because that's all that she's wanted all along. There's no reason for speculation. And another thing I've noticed, like a lot of the people asking questions about where the money's going aren't the ones who are donating. So I believe, Eric, you should probably know where, do you know how much an exhumation costs and all that?
Yeah. An exhumation can cost anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000. You saw in the murder trial that expert witnesses can charge up to $600, $700 an hour. They're some of the world-renowned people, and we want to get the best of the best. We're going to find out who's the best at this. And if they're out of state, they're going to charge for their travel time, and they charge a daily rate. And sometimes that daily rate can be anywhere between $5,000 and $7,500. So we can assure everyone the money is not going to Blam Richter. We're not charging legal fees to petition the court and oversee this process. That is what we are contributing. We would have done this sooner. We were willing to donate our time, but we didn't have the money. And these costs are expensive. You saw it in the murder trial, and that's why that was so good, because the public got to see expert witnesses do consume a lot of the trial budget. And in this case, not only are we going to need the forensic pathologist, but we're going to need investigators and people who can specialize in accident reconstruction. Ronnie and I have trucking cases all the time, and an accident reconstructionist can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. So let's not have the dollars stop coming. There'll be full transparency on this money, I can assure you. Any questions that you want where it will go, we will show you where the money will go. It's going to go to be poured into this case. And look, at the end of the day, it may be that it was a vehicular manslaughter. That's still a crime. That's still somebody that's driving around in the state today who hit and killed a young man and didn't stay and take responsibility. We don't think that's going to be the case, but that very well may be the conclusion.
Thanks, Eric. From Blair at Live 5. If the court does not give permission to exhume Stephen's body, where does that put this investigation?
Ronnie?
Well, we hope that's not going to happen, Blair. We think we have good cause to show why a fresh set of eyes on this would be beneficial. Obviously, it would be a significant setback. Yes, we could still hire investigators to go back and kind of recreate the steps, look back at those communications that Eric talked about, see if we can find some fresh new leads. But it kind of has to start with a fresh new look at the body and an independent determination of that cause of death. And as Eric said, it may be that investigation is confirmatory of what's already been said about the cause of death. We don't think that's true. You know, we, as a native South Carolinian, if you don't know someone in South Carolina, if you haven't struck a deer in South Carolina, you know someone who has. And this is a terrible analogy, but if you strike an animal on a highway in South Carolina, vehicular debris is everywhere. And the fact that Stephen's body is apparently placed in the middle of the roadway and there's no debris of any kind present really leads us to believe that is not what caused his death. So I don't care if it's the mirror, the bumper, what part of the car might have struck him. It just makes no sense to us that he could be struck in that fashion badly enough to cause his death and there be no vehicle debris of any kind whatsoever. So we hope by presenting this to the court that they will see that there is good cause shown why an exhumation is proper in this circumstance, and that is the key part of the investigation.
Yeah, don't forget, Ronnie. Don't forget, Ronnie, that Stephen had loose shoes on. So if you're hit by a vehicle that's going fast enough, that's going to project you, your shoes are just going to fall off under the best of circumstances. His were loose and untied, so it's almost inconceivable that his shoes didn't come off. So those are all reasons. Additionally, I think that the fact that there's so much public interest in supporting Sandy's cause of trying to find out really what happened, I would find it hard to believe that a judge would take the position, no, we don't want to give a grieving mother, the answers that she's looking for.
Thank you, Eric. Eric, I've got a question from Forrest. Eric, you said that Stephen Smith did not die on Sandy Run Road. Is there a theory that he was killed somewhere else and taken there?
Yeah, that's been the theory advanced all along by Mandy, by Liz, by many other people, not only just the close circle of people that are on this phone call. Everybody believes that, you know, if you look at all the attending circumstances, leaving a wallet in the car, nobody would leave their wallet in a car unlocked, and the ability to steal it, especially if he ran out of gas. And, you know, people open their gas caps, which lets the police know that they ran out of gas. You know, when I was younger, you know, we laughed about this on our podcast. You know, we used to have antennas on our hood of our car. And if your car broke down, you put a white t-shirt or a white washcloth up there to signify that your car broke down. Stephen would have taken his wallet to get gas. Stephen would have made a phone call or two, or tried. I know everybody says, look, we're out in the country and there's, you know, inconsistent cell coverage. But Stephen would have made a phone call and tried. So there's going to be evidence of making a phone call. All of these things lead us to believe, in addition to Stephen's careful nature that he took in his everyday life because of his lifestyle, we don't think he would be walking down a road, on a country road, when there was a quicker way for him to get home, and he knows the area. He would have done it in a way that he wouldn't have been seen. Sandy, do you have anything you want to add to that? You got to hit your microphone.
Unmute your mic.
Your mic.
Aw.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Good morning.
You want to add to that about Stephen being careful and his lifestyle? And
yeah, he would, Stephen would, if he did have to walk home, he would have walked through the woods
anything you want to add to that? You got to hit your microphone.
Unmute your mic.
Your mic.
There we go. It did it again. That's okay.
Sam.
I'll edit that part out.
You want to add to that about Stephen being careful in his lifestyle and?
Yes.
Yeah, he would. Stephen would, if he did have to walk home, he would have walked through the woods, and there was a cornfield right there. He would have walked through that. He would have made sure that he was not seen by anyone. He would do that to his dad and sister. He would hide and make them find him.
Would he have left his wallet in his car, Sandy?
No, he would not have. And he would have called his sister at least, because she was the closest to the house or to where the car was.
His twin.
His twin sister, yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Sandy,
you.
and thank you for being here this morning. Next question's from Catherine. Buster Murdaugh put out a statement for Jim Griffin this morning. Can anyone comment on that?
Yeah, I can comment on that. We've not mentioned Buster's name one time. This is not about Buster Murdaugh. So this is about Stephen Smith. This is about trying to get answers to questions that his mother desperately needs answers for. So there's no reason to discuss Buster Murdaugh, and there's no comment to make back to Buster Murdaugh. We're going to find out, God willing, court willing, what was Stephen Smith's true cause of death. And if it was something other than as has been reported, then we hope at that point in time to re-enlist all the resources of the state of South Carolina to engage in a new investigation and to find real answers to what happened to Stephen.
Yeah, as we believe, Whitney and Ronnie, as we sit here today, Buster is a victim. He lost a mother, a brother, and now his father's in jail. Buster, as we know, has nothing to do with this. And whatever is mentioned in the records, that's what investigators are going to look at. But we have no knowledge at all about Buster or the Murdaughs having anything to do with this right now. We're starting with a fresh set of eyes.
Thanks, Eric. Next question's from Rachel. How many investigators have been hired already? How long will this process take? And are there any dates on the books?
No one has been hired. I've talked to 2 out-of-state pathologists. I've talked to an in-state pathologist and an accident reconstruction person. Everyone's going to be interviewed. It's going to be a joint decision being made by Ronnie and me and Sandy and the whole team, including Mandy and Liz. This could not, again, there's no Blam Richter on the scene unless there was Mandy, Matney, and Liz Farrell. Their tenacity in digging into this case, not only after the boat wreck, but staying on top of the Stephen Smith case. Remember, the cacophony of sound of the murder case took precedence over the past 2 years. But what you always heard was Liz and Mandy saying, let's not forget about Stephen Smith. So Liz Farrell did a timeline that's absolutely amazing that predates Stephen's death and postdates it. And Mandy's dogged reporting is just a wealth of information that we intend to share for the investigators. Last night when I was trying to prepare, because I just got retained Friday night, I read one of Mandy's articles, and I mean, it's a tutorial on this case. And I'm not sure that that people who looked in this case looked at it the same way that Mandy did and Liz.
Thanks, Eric. And Jeanette, I'm going to let you unmute real quick if you want to ask your question. And if anyone else has questions, you can also raise your hand or drop it in the chat. We're taking these one by one.
Hi, thank you. And thanks for holding this news conference. I'm wondering, sometimes law enforcement can be loath to partner with citizens, lawyers in investigations like this one, a criminal investigation. Are you anticipating some cooperation? And as far as those electronics go, we know you guys probably have access to Stephen's electronics. Is there anybody in particular who you're looking to subpoena records for in the aftermath of Stephen's death?
Right now, no. We intend to talk with everybody in his orbit, which would be all family members, his sister, obviously, Sandy, friends that'll come forward and tell us, who he would associate with, who he may have been dating at the time, And again, I expect that law enforcement will give us the normal cooperation. Certainly we have developed a good relationship with the AG's office and SLED throughout the Satterfield process. I think that Ronnie and I were instrumental in the Satterfield case in educating SLED and getting them the information they needed to indict Alex. So I think we have a really good working relationship. I certainly have a good working relationship with Creighton Waters. I know that there was a grand jury impaneled on Stephen's death, and it's no longer in session. So whether they will share information with us, I can tell you we will share information with them. Even though it may not be a full two-way street, the more information that we could put on SLED's desk or the AG's desk that we may acquire, and again, that's the word may acquire, I think will be beneficial.
Eric, you said that there was a grand jury impaneled into Stephen's death, so it's no longer active. So does that mean the AG's office has kind of dropped this, or what information do you have about that?
I don't have any information other than they're no longer impaneled. So it means one of two things: that they returned an indictment and the AG is sitting on it, which I highly doubt, or there was just not enough information that was garnered over the past 2 years. Remember, this investigation opened up, according to SLED, based upon a finding of something during the investigation of Alex's murder of Maggie and Paul. We don't know what that is. We don't know what caused it. Mandy, do you have any knowledge of what that could be? You're on mute.
Yeah, I just a couple things here. And again, I think we just really need to focus on the fact that this is about Stephen, not about the Murdaugh investigation. But with the grand jury, I believe that was the state grand jury, and we're not sure, like the state grand jury does not do murder cases either. So I wouldn't look into that too much about their involvement and what that means. I think what we need to focus on today is that everybody in the media, everybody out there participating in this, y'all have a responsibility and a lot of power to give Sandy Smith, this woman who has been waiting for justice for more than 7 years, to help her. And I believe after digging into these files and after digging into this investigation for 4 years, I firmly believe that there are many people in Hampton County, South Carolina right now who know what exactly happened to Stephen. And they need to know that this is not going away. And I am so glad that Eric and Ronnie are here to stand behind Sandy and to do all of this, because it's a huge, this is exactly what needs to happen. The spotlight needs to be on Stephen. Stephen's story can stand alone and will stand alone. And somebody said this, and I said this on the podcast, but if either everybody counts or nobody counts, and Stephen counts, and we need to focus on that and move forward and get answers for the Smith family.
Thank you,
Well
Mandy.
said. Well said.
Sandy, this leads into a question for you. Can you tell us what you hope to find and why this is so important to you?
It's important to me because, I just love my son. And since I couldn't protect him, I'm going to fight for him. I want to thank everyone who's donated and supported us from the beginning. But I hope to find the real reason for Stephen's death and the real why.
Thank you. We've got a couple questions about a different case. We're going to keep this on Stephen. So if you'll keep your questions about Stephen and that particular case, that'd be great. Next question from Rachel. Specifically, what kind of phone data are you seeking to discover?
I'll give this to Ronnie, but first I want to thank you, Whitney, for hosting this. You did an amazing job putting this together within 24 hours, Murdaugh Communications. So appreciate that. So Ronnie, go ahead, talk about the phone data.
Yeah, I mean, to say we want it all is kind of cliche, I guess, but we do data downloads on devices all the time in litigation. So what we'd be seeking to do on his mobile device is download everything and to track as best we can all of his movements for that period of time leading up to his death, certainly. And as Eric said, take a look back for a period of time and try to find out who were those people that he was in regular communication with. And this will lead us into the investigation. This will be the leads that the investigators need to get into the field and start asking questions about what were his relationships, what were his contacts, who was he talking to, and about what. It's only through getting boots on ground in this fashion and spading through these lines of communication that we can hopefully find that thread that leads us to the real information about Stephen's death. Now again, it's our working assumption that this was not just a hit and run, but that something else happened. Now, if the facts don't bear that out, they don't bear that out. But we don't think that's the case.
Thanks, Ronnie. We're going to take one final question from Dylan. Do you intend to publicize the findings of the investigation?
Yes. This is full transparency here. Just want everybody to know. This is full transparency. We want to be open exactly who we hire. That's not going to be a secret. Obviously, if we do get court permission and in order to exhume, we want to do it in a respectful fashion. We don't want this to be a media circus when the body is exhumed, if it's exhumed. We want to be able to have Stephen examined professionally, appropriately, with the greatest respect, and then reinterred. So the process, just to give a timeline, we expect to have something filed, I would think within a week to 10 days. I want to make sure I'm educated and Ronnie and I are educated properly on what we should put in that petition. The petition is our one chance. This is, it's like M&M, you get one shot, and we want to make this shot count. So the first thing is hiring the right experts, and we'll have that decision made by Wednesday of this week. And then coordinating with them for them to give us some guidance on what are the magic bell words that we want to make sure we cover, so that when we go into court, we give the rightful showing. I'm confident that the court will grant us this permission. Then we have to go through the process of hiring the right funeral director, and where is it going to take place? How is it going to take place? And then contemporaneously, we will have investigators now going through the file. I mean, Mandy and Liz have garnered tremendous amounts of information, not just the normal autopsy photos, but a lot of investigative notes that have already taken place. And remember, there were competing agencies that were investigating this, whether it was Highway Patrol at one time or SLED or some different local law enforcement, so that person who investigates this can look at everything and then give us direction. Ronnie and I have never done this before. So we're learning like we do on most cases. We educate ourselves, and when we open our mouths, hopefully we sound like we know what we're talking about.
Perfect. Thank you. Any final words, Eric, Ronnie, Sandy, Mandy?
Ronnie?
Yeah, thank you to the public. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the generosity that has brought us to this point. And again, if you have information, please come forward. We need your help. It's going to be essential to this investigation that people talk. So thank you so far. Thank you for Sandy Smith. And we will be completely transparent, as Eric said. As we know things in this investigation, so will you.
Yeah, we will not have closed door hearings. It's not something that we want. Obviously, we can't control that. If the judge orders it, that's up to the judge. Just so you know, during the murder case, I received tremendous input from the public. Ways that they looked at things that I didn't look at, or that Creighton may have not looked at. And I will say this about Creighton Wooders: he was receptive to every piece of information that the public wanted to give him that I received. I know he read it. Some he would say, obviously, I disagree with. And some, as the trial progressed, I knew that he used. So, everybody's got two ears, two eyes, and a great brain. And collectively, if everybody puts it together, There, like Ronnie said, there are people out there. Sandy has said this. There are people out there, and Mandy has screamed this from the rooftops in Hampton County, in Colleton County, in Bamberg County, that know things. I mean, people talk, and they know people's lifestyle, and they know things about Stephen that even Sandy doesn't know. And a fact that somebody could think is innocuous or really doesn't count is a great fact when it's matched up with another fact that somebody else may think is innocuous. So our email address is, you can email me at ericbland@blandrichter.com. My phone number is 803-600-7476. Anybody could text me, they could call me. I will take any piece of information.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Final question, which leads us into wrapping up. Where can we expect to see updates? Will they come in the form of press releases from Whitney McDuff? I will speak to this part. We absolutely want the media as allies. We will be giving you all as much information as we have. We are all looking at the same North Star here, which is to find out what happened to Stephen. So we are partners with you all. We want to keep you informed of what's going on, so you can count on us for that. Eric and Ronnie are available. Eric just gave his phone number and his email. Ronnie is ronnie@blandrichter.com. I am Whitney at whitneymcduff.com. Please reach out to us with any questions. If you want comments, we are absolutely here to help you all. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming today. Great questions. We will be keeping you informed as the investigation progresses, and we hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank all you guys for your information and your links and everything, so that way we could watch this together. Thank you so much. And I appreciate it, Cherry, for getting me this link so we could actually get it from the source. I appreciate that. That helps out the channel. And I love that they're being so transparent. This is something I want to watch again, because this was a really good press conference. Whoops, let me go ahead and get you there. If anybody would like to hop up, you're more than welcome. We're just going to sit here and chit-chat for a few before I end the show. If anybody would like to say anything.
Am I actually allowed to talk now, or am I still on mute?
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. I thought I was still muted.
No, you must be flying a plane or something, huh?
Dang, I was hoping you wouldn't hear that. Yeah, I told you everything I'm up to. I only got through 3 missions on my combat flight simulator and switched back to my Grumman.
Hey, it sounds fun. Hey, we gotta figure out how we can get on that pool, man. At some point, maybe this weekend, if we're both not busy. I've just been sucked into this case, but yeah, Cold Truth, if you're still in chat, definitely hit me up. Evil CJ, here we go, right here. Evil CJ number 2540 on Discord, evilcj@gmail, or evilcj at Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, I'd love to hear more about that case, and Thursday night can be yours. No problem. Just reach out to me.
Yeah, I still got to get you
Ray
on
Hanish?
Discord.
Ray Hanish. I never heard. You know, that name kind of does sound familiar. Why does it sound familiar?
Hopefully it's not like Marshmallow.
No.
You know, one of these days I'm going to hop in. I'm going to change my name to Marshmallow just to see if you let me.
Oh, yeah? Hey. I'm going to say it like I tell everybody. There's a door to every room, my friend.
Well, it doesn't help that I've been able to be a little bit of a troll at times.
There's a door in every room.
I know. But I still think it'd be hilarious
Ray
if you like
Hanish.
actually let them on, and then it ends up being me.
Hey, I want to apologize in advance if you guys get some notifications after the show. I'm going to make about 5 CJ clips that I'm going to throw up from tonight's show. so you might get some notifications. So I apologize about that if it's late. But I'm going to be doing some work after the show here, kind of trying to get to stuff that everybody else is able to get to during the day. And with me being at work during the day, I can't do it. I'm kind of, I don't know. I kind of have an idea, though. I kind of have an idea where I can start doing some clips sometimes in the middle of the day on lunch or something. So I got an idea in process. So we'll see if I can get it to work. I'm gonna have to reach out to some of my mods. But I'll send you guys a message in Discord and kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking. I'll let you guys know. Man, that was a good press conference. I have a good feeling about it. And it sounds to me like... Good night, Kib Kitty. I appreciate you hanging out. I'm definitely going to post all of the links, the phone numbers, the emails, everything. I'm going to be posting in the description. So, if you need any of those, I'll go ahead and be posting those while I'm making my clips. I'll go ahead and hear them and I'll write down the information. I got some of it, but I'll have all that in the description. So yeah, man, Friday night, we'll hop on and we'll be talking about some Ray Hanish on Thursday. Fingers crossed. I'd love to hear
Thursday one, and if you're still live Thursday when I get out of the theater, I might hop in. But
yeah,
I don't know what time that'll be.
We'll definitely catch the replay if not, because this is going to be an interesting story. Ray Hanish. I'm going to do some research Wednesday night. Maybe have some questions and stuff already before. Definitely kind of just get a little feel for it. 10 or 15 minutes. Check it out. I'd like to learn about Cold Truth. Let me put the channel up there too. Give me 1 second. I do have the link. So if you haven't subscribed to Cold Truth, go ahead and there's the link. You can go ahead and subscribe now. Very good episode. I just wanted to chill back, watch these press conferences. Thanks for hanging out up here, man. You going live tonight?
I don't know if I am or not. It's cold and I'm still kind of out of it after sleeping too long.
No doubt.
But the good news is the bowl I was working on my last live is all fixed and ready to go.
Well, drink plenty of water. It definitely helps.
Yeah.
Water's the key.
Yeah, my problem
especially
is I like
when you get all that
sleep.
Yeah, my shit's got to be ice cold. That's the only way I could drink it. It's got to be ice cold. All right, buddy. Well, yeah, I'll look forward to you hopping in Friday night, man. And if there's anything specific you want to talk about, you want to show off this video that we're talking about in the background, I'd love to showcase that. Showcase some more work you got.
I very well might just record it and send it to you later tonight or tomorrow.
And do me a favor, all of your stuff that you work on, you know, like your pen and stuff, do me a favor and send it to me in the messages. That way I can just click right to it and just go from one to the next to the next to the next, and everybody gets a close-up.
Okay.
That'll be
I might have a few
cool
more
too,
that
man.
I've been sitting on too, so I might just send all that over to you when we get off of here. 'Cause I'm on my phone where everything's on right now, and if I get off of there, it does some weird stuff to the audio on my end, and I can't hear anything.
Okay.
It grates my nerves. So.
Yeah, that pen was some cool shit, man. That's a really neat. I'd like to see how you make one.
Yeah, I deliberately hid the two major mistakes that were on the other side that nobody's seen. So I had part of it go flying off on me, but like right before I was ready to start sanding it, and it's like, I'm not quitting now. Half of it'll be fine, so it's for me.
Yeah. I need to be a pen for the show.
Well, let me know what you want, man.
Something with the logo. Can you do something with the logo?
It'd have to be wood, and I can burn it in there.
Yeah, man. And then I'll show it off. I need to get back on camera. I don't know what the fuck's been up with me lately. I haven't been on camera much lately. I just
I'm
been
never
cold
on
as
camera
shit
when
and
I'm on
chilling.
here.
Yeah. Well, I'll be on camera tomorrow night. Damn straight.
Yeah.
I just been chilling and freezing my ass off, wearing beanies and my hoodie up and all that shit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna look like that on the street. You just see my picture. You just look at my avatar. But
What
we'll
are
be
you
back
freezing
on
for,
camera.
man?
Cause
Of course,
it's
I'm
been
aware-
freaking cold here.
It's cold here
It's been
too,
freaking
but I
cold,
still keep my
actually.
house at 72.
I actually had frost on my window for the first time in like 4 years. This morning I had some.
I had snow in my truck when I came out of work the last day I worked. About almost an inch.
Yeah, I moved away from that shit. I
Yeah,
got
I'm
tired
about
of that
to.
shit. I got tired of that shit. I said I'm
Yeah,
done.
I'm
Done.
thinking about leaving the state too.
Done.
That's about where I'm at.
Yeah. You got to sometimes. All right, man. Well, shoot out a live if you're going live. I'm gonna be doing some post-work show crap. Throw out some short videos and such just to kind of help out everybody. Showcase their links that they help to make the show what it is. Thank you for hopping up. Yay, he called it a beanie. Stocking cap, cherry. Stocking cap.
Well, what do you call a face mask that only has one hole?
I have no idea, but I have a feeling you're gonna tell me.
I cannot tell you just to drive you crazy.
Well, you could, and then I'll just Google it. So why don't you just tell me?
Because it's more fun to tease you.
Well, then
They're called balaclavas, and
Oh,
I wear
that's
one
right.
I wear one every day at work, so I feel like a gangster.
That's right. That's right. I was gonna say go ahead and leave it in for suspense, and if anybody was still watching the show at this point in the show and they heard the question, they could leave the reply in the comment section. But there you go. Everybody knows. How do you pronounce it again? I know how it's spelled.
Balaclava.
One more time.
How is what?
Say it one more time.
IT.
Balaclava.
Yeah, balaclava.
Balaclava.
Yep.
Always dropping knowledge, man. Thank you.
When you don't know
Guns.
much, share what you have.
Guns or masks with a hole. He knows. And wood. Yeah, definitely check out Kevin Kraft's channel if you haven't subbed to it yet. I'll go ahead and throw his link up there too. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. A nice little chill back night, even though we're getting some information, so it's cool. I appreciate it.
I don't mind information. It gives me a chance to play.
Well, yeah, man. Enjoy your evening. I haven't done anything but research and homework and work and this and that. There's a link to Kevin Kraft. Go ahead and sub to him if you haven't. All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow night. Definitely check out the theories video. I'll throw in that link into chat as well. We're going to go into those tomorrow night. And I really need to do some research on a certain individual that me and Kevin have a feeling about something. Speculation.
It is so
It's gonna be
tempting to throw out
interesting.
some random name to see if, just to throw everybody off.
We'll see. We'll see. Bring your theories and thoughts too. And you know what? That's what you can do Friday, man. Go ahead and check out that video again sometime while you're working. Give it a good listen. Maybe Wednesday night or something. Since I won't be streaming Wednesday, maybe listen to that on Wednesday night. Jot down some things in your head or on a notebook in your pocket or something and You tell me
Yeah,
what
but I
your
need a pen
theory
to do
is.
that.
Yeah. I do it at work. I carry a pen and a piece of paper at all times anymore. I'm always jotting shit down. Then I get home and I have to put it all
You should
together because my notebook looks like Eminem's notepad and shit. It's just all over the fucking place. And then I gotta go home and organize it.
Yeah, you should see my
It's all over.
you should see my work bag. I've got like 7 or 8 pens that I've made in there, 2 sketch pencils because I usually have a sketch pad because if I have time, I'll mess around with Doodle and a couple notepads. But they keep adding more and more to what we have to do, and because other people don't want to do their job right, so that's getting to be less and less.
Yeah, it's just
And
gonna
there
get
ain't
worse.
nothing. And there ain't nothing that's more fun than working a 12-hour day without being able to get a break, and that's what it's coming down to.
Damn.
Yeah.
Seems to be like a relocation situation, man.
It's been a relocation situation. It's just I'm not getting any calls back yet.
Oh, the market's not good up there.
It was until about 6 months ago.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nobody wants to pay now, and they just raised our minimum wage like $2 an hour.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's cool.
yeah, so everything's going to shoot up in price again. Oh, I'm thinking about taking that one job at Northland Southern. How's it pronounced? North Fork Southern was trying to get me to apply to. I just don't know if I want to apply to the train wreck company, but I'm thinking about it at this point just for the pay rate.
You could be an inside. You could be an insider.
And just don't make me go full John Wick on
You
anybody.
get. You always talk about that You always talk about that ninja mode, man. Shoo.
That's when I'm at work, because technically I'm not supposed to be live streaming anything. Or I'm just a bad boy.
Uh-oh.
Eh.
All right, man.
Everybody,
Well, have a good night,
everybody's on
man.
their,
Huh?
but everybody's on their phone all night there. Even our supervisors watch TikTok all night.
That's a
You
bad
go in the
habit.
office and they'll be trying to hide it, and it's like, yeah, you're already busted. Just remember
I
that
wouldn't
if you ever
even-
give me grief.
I wouldn't even be touching that. Wouldn't even be touching it. I
What-
even deleted
what?
it off my phone.
I've never had an
That
account with them and probably never will.
Yeah. I set one up, and then a day later I saw when on a show that we were doing, we covered a certain part of it, and I'm like, oh shoot, nope. Oh, there's an update? Okay, that'll remain there forever. I'm not doing it. Yeah, bring your
Yeah.
thought and theory about whatever, what you tell me what you think took place, who you think did it, what you think took place, how you think it went down, all that stuff, man. Come in Friday night with that. So let it
Alright.
stew in your brain for a few days. Come in and you just drop it down, and then we'll,
Can I drop
we'll
the mic
feature
and
it
walk
in
away?
Sure, man. Yeah. And then we'll feature it in another video when we talk about the case again. So I make sure that your thoughts and opinions get showcased as well, man. So you can let it stew for most of the week and come back Friday and give us all what you think took place, and you let me know in advance, and I'll go ahead and have everything ready. So whatever you're talking about, I'll just have stuff up on the screen for you, man. We'll hear what your thought and opinion is on what you think went down. We'll feature
Sounds
Kevin
good.
Kraft on Friday. All right, man. Have a good night, buddy.
Actually, lightning.
I'm gonna hop off here, get to work. Get to
Mm.
work. I got about another hour and a half, and then I'll be hitting the sack to go to bed. And another day at work, and another day, another show. Theories tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be pausing this in a minute to head down and switch out glasses and set up a camera so I can give you something fun to look at.
Oh yeah, that's cool too, man.
But,
All right, buddy. Have a good
Yeah.
night, man. Good
You
luck.
too.
We'll see you tomorrow if you hop in, even if you're at work, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, you know me. I'll sneak in occasionally.
Ninja mode. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I hope you have a peaceful and positive evening. And thank you so
I'm
much for
flying a
always
plane.
hanging
It's
out.
always going to be peaceful. I just
Not
have it
over
muted
here. I got
so
a
you don't
lot
have
of
to
work.
listen to it.
I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Good night, man.
All right. Later.